and gentlemen, welcome to a very, very special episode of No Neutral. I cannot believe it, but we are actually finally at our final CPT event of the year, and I couldn't have made it this far without my brother, my co-host, everybody's favorite, Brian F. What's going on, Brody?
Man, it has been such an eventful year in the world of Street Fighter and CPT, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. You know, sharing it with you, Rob, on the show No Neutral, sharing it with all the fans, just talking about the passion we have for Street Fighter and fighting games in this community. It's been a wonderful ride, and of course, it's all leading up to the biggest region. We keep it a buck every time. It's leading up to the final CPT event of the year, Japan number 4. It is coming up. It's been a long time. Man. The most storied region in Street Fighter history is, of course, going to be throwing down once again today. But before we get into all that and recapping last week's CPT, we, of course, have to give a shout out to our co-host in Japan. Shout outs to Team No Motion and all the Japanese viewers and audience for tuning in week after week to No Neutral. We always appreciate your support very, very much. And that said, before we get into talking about CPT Japan number 4, we had what we hyped up to be one of the biggest regions, which has historically been consistently one of the hypest regions. We had, of course, NA East number 2. And, you know, I got to be honest, did it deliver? Did it deliver?
Okay, listen, that is a very tough question to answer, Brian. I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks about that. I feel like it was extremely exciting. Like, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But the actual storylines that we expected weren't the ones that came through. That's not like we didn't get the Punk versus iDom. You know what I mean? We didn't get the Shine, and we didn't get we did get the iDom versus Art showdown. But yeah, in general, I feel like the event was very good. But I would say that for what we thought it was gonna be, it might not have been exactly that. But I do still stand on the fact that this has to be, when you count the fact that iDom and Punk is in there and all the other strong players that they have, I do still think that it is the second strongest CPT region of the year, though. But the event was dope. But Punk actually went out at 9th place. He lost in pools to Cozy Field, a Falk player, and in losers to Z's Nuts. Punk actually used Luke the entire tournament. Outside of against Child 233, he went with the Karen, but so that's why we didn't end up getting that storyline, because he got out at 9th. But outside of that, man, I expected Shine. Look, bro, I don't know how to do this sort of thing, Brian, because some of these guys like Shine are my real life friends. You know what I'm saying? Like yourself. So what do I do if we had came in here after the CPT Midwest 2 and you hadn't qualified? What if you had choked or something against Cam? Am I not supposed to keep it a buck about it?
I would have called out sick.
I think that Shine is too strong. I'm gonna say it. It's just my opinion. I feel like Shine is too strong to not have performed better in this year's CPT events. I think that there's a bit of a. What do you think? I think it's a character crisis.
I think there's a bit of a character crisis. We've known Shine as mostly Ibuki main throughout the history of Street Fighter V, right? He's played plenty of characters, and Ibuki was DLC Season 2 or late Season 1, so she wasn't really in the game from the beginning. So he's played Karen before, Jury too, and now since Ibuki's kind of not really been the same meta character like she used to be, we saw Shine pick up Cody and do extremely well in a lot of like the regionals and NLBC and stuff like that. He's done really well with Cody, adding that to his arsenal. But yeah, we saw him go with Ibuki in the matches, and he wasn't able to close out and move on to the top 8. He got 9th, losing to Arturo in winner's side, and then Space Boy in loser's side. Now, listen, I get what you're saying. Insane. I get what you're talking about with Shine. We expect him to always perform well in this region, but I think, to me, my take from this is not that Shine is underperforming. I think we're seeing other players step it up finally, like Space Boy. I think that look at the players he lost to, right? He lost to Arturo, who we were hyping up to be the guy to potentially take the whole event, and he did well this event. We'll touch on that more in a bit, but he ended up in the 3rd place position. And then Space Boy got 4th, and Space Boy is the guy I had as my dark horse to go potentially all the way, because he's kind of a wild child still. You know, he has those moments where like his offensive decision making is either brilliant or the dumbest thing you've ever seen, right? He still kind of rides that line here or there, but his offense is ridiculously strong. Whenever you're playing him, you are uncomfortable the entire time, and he's been getting stronger and stronger and playing in that fashion, and also knowing when to tone it back a little bit, right?
Space Boy was amazing, but bro, you brought up Art. Brian, can I? What you want me to do? What do you think? Do I take I don't know what the difference of red pill or blue pill, but do you want me to keep it a buck or should I be extra nice about
Let's
Art?
keep it a buck. It's no neutral. Keep it a buck.
It is no neutral. Arturo Sanchez! I got up here on this damn camera and I told everybody, my man Art has the highest chance to win this tournament outside of iDom to qualify for the season final. Actually, before we even knew it was going to be the season final, back even when we thought it was going to be Capcom Cup, my man Art has been destroying iDom day in and day out. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying, tournament, all these NLBCs, right? And then we come here and Art plays great throughout the whole tournament. It's even to the point where in top eight winner side, round one, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the showdown. It's time. It's Arturo Sanchez going up against iDom in the most important tournament of the year. But he knew that it was an uphill battle. My man goes with the poison. He smokes Arturo 3-0. Now, I know it can feel like I'm going too hard on Art right now because he played great. And in my opinion, he has had like an amazing, one of the biggest come-ups of the year as far as his increase in skill. I'm proud of him. But at the end of the day, what happened right there to lose 3-0, I feel like it was completely out of left field. It was egregious. It was downright disgusting. Arturo is better than that, Brian. I hate to see it.
He played amazing. I mean, he got third place in one of the most stacked regions. But he was dethroned by iDom and also by the guy that everybody counted out for this tournament. Because
let's talk about it.
If you don't know about Rushdown, then you don't really know like the East Coast Street Fighter V ecosystem. Because Rushdown he's been there, especially in the online era, which is the only era we've had since 2020. He's just kind of been there, kind of just like a thorn in the side of a lot of players. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
He's a man of his own convictions, and he's willing to speak his mind and stand by them, regardless of what anyone else thinks at all, right? So he's kind of been this kind of dark horse. I don't know how to describe it. The black sheep of the East Coast community for quite some time. And then I think the big showdown was in the losers finals, which was Rushdown versus Art. And it was kind of a slugfest. It's the way you got to approach the sim matchup. Yeah. I think he showed great matchup knowledge and knowing that playing solid against sim is how you lose. And he knows to not be guilt tripped to play the proper way when you're playing that matchup, because you got to get nutty with it. You got to get a little scrappy when you're fighting sim. And he showed great matchup knowledge to eliminate our pick for potentially making the upset to get to grand finals, and just showing that he's at that level. And like him or not, you got to respect him. You got to respect the gameplay. I think he's made that message loud and clear. But he's not the guy who won the tournament.
No, he's not.
He's not the guy who won the tournament. The guy who won the tournament, I think, is now officially a poison main. iDom won this tournament, I think, with 100% poison. So yeah, he picked poison and 3-0'd Arturo, 3-1 against a Rushdown in winners finals, and grand finals was 6 rounds straight, 3 games straight. It was 6 rounds straight. Rushdown couldn't get a round on the board at that point. You know, he looked pretty strong in winners finals. It was 3-1, but there were rounds exchanged even in the games that he lost. So it felt competitive the entire time. Man, that grand finals, it was a wash. And that's what we see time and time again against iDom. We see players who kind of rise to the occasion, maybe put some points on the board, show that they're in the match, and then they get the run back, and then it just falls apart. They just can't stay at that level that they have to stay at for that long against iDom.
And I'm not taking nothing away from iDom, though. iDom was the best player in this bracket, like as far as, in this top 8, like, Punk didn't make top 8. I don't know who's better out of those two. But as far as in this top 8, like, that was the best player, and he deserved that win 100%. And I want to make sure, most importantly, that I give iDom his flowers, because this caps off, well, I guess season final as well. But this right here kind of caps off the type of year that he's just had in general. The last few years that he's had, nothing but consistency and, the highest level of professionalism. That man is something different, Brian.
He definitely is, and we'll get to hear from the man himself coming up here. We have an interview with iDom, the NACPT East 2 champion, and we're going to hear what he has to say about his recent CPT victory.
Hey everybody, we are here with the NA East #2 champion, Mr. iDom, current also Capcom Cup
reigning, defending
Exactly.
Capcom Cup champion iDom. But also, as you mentioned, yes, the NAE second qualifier. Number one, we'll just start out. How you doing, my man? The tournament is over. The season, besides the finale, is over. Has that let some stress come off your shoulders?
So as the tournaments were going on, I mean, I was pretty down. I didn't win the first one. Silly me for switching to Laura in that set. But I'm glad I was able to take the second one. It wasn't really getting to me mentally, but like I felt like I was kind of like a bit out of shape because I practiced a lot for the first one and I didn't practice as much for the second one.
Of course. It's the way it works.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. You mentioned that, silly you for switching to Laura this one in the top 8 today, we didn't even see you play Laura at all. Are you in a position right now where you almost kind of feel like Poison is your main and Laura is a secondary?
So I had a discussion with Saint Cola. I know he frequents over there, and Saint Cola said he was gonna find me every time I play Laura during this CPT event, and I was like, unless it's ROG or Cammy, I feel like I can just play Poison all the way through, and that's how I got this far. I think he kind of helped me out, to be honest.
Nice.
That's good, yeah, that you kind of just relied more on the Poison. And to me, watching your NLBC recently grand finals up against Arturo, where you played the Laura, and then watching here where you played the Poison, it really feels like as Laura, the onus is on you a lot of the time in the matchup to make something happen, right? Whether it be like a hard read on a good jump in or elbowing through a normal or whatnot. While Poison, it seems like a much more stable game. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah. So the problem with Laura right now, and I love playing Laura. I think the character design is great. The problem with Laura though is her offense, V-shift hurt her offense so much. When before, when you hit common cross medium kick in the elbow, it was a 50-50, but 50-50 is like calling heads or tail. Now I feel like I have to call what number is gonna roll on a dice when I get a hit, and that's kind of hard. Saying it's gonna land on 3 and then it lands on 5 is too difficult.
Now, it's interesting. So obviously in that last grand finals match, I mean, you lost the first round and then just rattled off 6 rounds straight. And I was saying on commentary, it's felt like early on you kind of discovered that EX Heart Raid and the mix-up game afterwards was really shaking Rushdown. Were you intentionally going to that mix-up repeatedly just because you were kind of sensing that it was more damaging mentally than actually character life damage?
So when I use Poison, at least I'm just trying to make sure I don't explode. As weird as that, as long as I don't explode playing Poison, I feel like I'm fine. So honestly, when I use Poison, I always do EX Heart Rate to kind of force the V reversals out from people, and I don't mind really getting pushed away full screen. The problem with him, he never V reversal, and he kept taking the throw. So I'm like, oh, you're just making this easy for me. So that was really kind of how the matchup played out.
I see. Trying to kind of bait out a resource by using one of your own, but I mean, Mance just didn't do it. So it's
he was confident. He was confident in the Aegis. So I was like, hey, I just got to survive Aegis, it looks like.
And that makes sense for sure. So, considering you've been an expert on Poison, Laura, you've had so much success, and I think a lot of people do hold you in a higher regard than even a lot of top players. Do you have anything consciously that you recognize that kind of separates yourself from the people that are just right below your level?
I think it's just not, like I said, this game is just don't explode. This game is literally just don't explode. Unless the character is Abigail or G, I don't think you should be exploding at all. You can mitigate a lot of the risk taking.
Yeah, and the person that qualified out of the region with you is Punk, right? Your partner in crime, your rival across the decades, space and time when it comes to Street Fighter V. Are you excited to do probably something with him considering what's planned for the season finals?
So, me and Punk play.
Yeah.
We played probably a million times. I really hope, I really hope with the CPT final, not even just because it's me and Punk, I want to see more matchups, because I feel like even last season it was kind of the same matchup, because no disrespect to no disrespect to Brian, he's definitely one of the people I've been playing with very frequently. I don't want to watch Brian get washed by Rob again. I'm not trying to see that again.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I like that. I like that answer for sure. All right, I messed with that. Well, then
I just got one more question. Like, people always talk about you and Punk rivalry, There was, the scenes where, Punk was yelling with Gustavo in the back, and he was propping you up and everything. And it seems like Punk really kind of, lives in the rivalry, but you seem to be very nonchalant about it. Do you consider yourself, you and Punk, rivals, or is it just, another opponent for you?
I think it's he in fighting games, he wants to be the best in every fighting game he plays. When I play, I'm just like, I'm trying to have a good time. I think Rob said on No Neutral, when I play, I just try to make it a one-player game. Now I feel like, now that I heard Rob say that, now I feel like, thinking about the other fighting games I play, I was like, man, in every fighting game, I'm trying to just make it a one-player game.
I remember how you played in Infinite, iDom. It's definitely the case. I remember.
But yeah, so like, I feel like I'm trying to, I guess, make it a one-player game, and Punk's trying to be the best. So I think it's different goal. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm trying to just play my one-player game.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And to me, it really speaks to both of your personalities, right? And kind of where your motivation comes from, honestly. Everybody taps into their energy differently. Right.
I'm just gonna say it. iDom is Ryu and Punk is Ken.
Yeah, I think that's a decent analogy right there. And they're a rivalry because we've just seen them face off in the final so many times, right? So even outside of their personal interest in it, it's just these are two of the best in the world, and they've played so much that we have to consider a rivalry as fans. But I love hearing your perspective on it, iDom. It's always great to just see, like, I think that really does come across in your stoic nature.
Yeah. And I guess the one last question that I have, you obviously are the reigning champion, but we haven't heard a lot about, like, after winning, Gotcha-kun, like, got a house and everything. And all this, like, how has the championship actually changed, your life and, and changed a lot of stuff around you?
So, like I said, going into that Capcom Cup, like I said, I wasn't expecting to win. I didn't know what to do with the money. I've honestly, I still have it. It's just I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I remember it had to be at least a year ago at this point that someone asked you, "Have you spent any money from it?" And you said no. So is that like pretty much still the case? Like, that is majorly still sitting there?
I have not used. I feel like I've had
chilling.
Did I tell you, iDom, that you're my favorite player in the whole world? I definitely did not slander your name in the audio tests.
We're gonna have to end this interview so we can get iDom to sponsor a commentary team. So.
Oh man, no, but seriously though, congratulations again, and honestly, just iDomination. I mean, that's the best nickname considering how that grand finals went. I mean, that was just an absolute clinic. So congratulations, definitely proving that you deserve the championship, you deserve this qualification, and so you remain as one of the greatest in the world.
Yeah, and we just want to take this moment to give you the floor, right? Give you your shout outs or however you want to sign the people off.
All right. Thanks for watching. I'm glad I got to play in the CPT online. Shout outs to all my fans. Shout outs to Xset. I forgot the new sponsor. Of course. Shout out to Xset, and shout out to all the fans of the game, fans of my play. Shout outs to all you guys for keeping the scene alive during COVID and these pandemics.
Yes, sir. It wouldn't have been possible without all the fiends at home viewing every time. I'm a fiend myself, so I love seeing it. Once again, congrats, iDom. Glad to see that he is the qualifier for NAE's 2. Incredible play. As always, James, that was a definite sick top 8. Sick events throughout all of the CPT. It has just been awesome. So we've been lucky to be a part of as much as we've had. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you soon.
Spoken like a true villain, the true villain that he is, Brian. Everybody thinks that he's such a nice guy. They see the cornrows and all that. They see the smile. They see the socks and everything. But in the end of the day, iDom is evil. He said he just wants to make it a one-player game. Does that sound fair to you?
It does not. Is that like the meme where Punk is the villain in the trailer, then you find out the true villain is iDom all along? The twist ending.
Yeah, at the end of the movie.
The end of the movie, you find out it's iDom all along who you had to worry about. Yeah, that was,
bro. Imagine watching Saw, and then at the end, iDom just stands up out the chair.
That's the
twist.
Whole
top.
Giving you the EX heart rate right there on Wake Up. But yeah, that's iDom. He's very forthcoming about how he approaches the game and his thoughts on the game and his own play style. So I can always appreciate that about our reigning Capcom Cup champion. So shout out to iDom once again, and congratulations on your recent CPT victory. But that said, we're going to shift gears here because we have the final CPT event of the 2021 season coming up. And of course, we had to end it with a bang with CPT Japan number 4. Yeah, number 4. This region got more qualifying spots than other regions. Some had 1, some had 2, and Japan had 4 because they just got that many good players. Let me run down some stats real quick about the previous 3 events, just to quickly highlight why this region has so many qualifying spots. Japan number 1, first place Mago, second place Tokido. Japan number 2, first place Higuchi, second place Sako. Japan number 3, first place Daigo, second place Kawano. You might notice something about that. That was 3 events with 6 different people in the first and second place positions.
That's crazy, bro.
How many regions can you run the same tournament 3 times in a row and have that much variety in results? And with those names you throw out, they're not unknown names. These are people that have won Evos. These are people that have gone far in Capcom Cups, or maybe even won early Capcom Cups in other games, right? Shout outs to Sako. These are the young up-and-comers who have done big things in events like Topanga League. The EVO Online champions as well. So this region just timed. What else can we say, really, about the strength of Japan and the level of Street Fighter that they deliver?
Bro, what we are about to see right now, Brian, is what all of this is about. Like, this is the heart and soul of Street Fighter. This is the pinnacle of strength in Street Fighter, at least on a, I don't know if it would be appropriate to use like macro level. Like, I feel like, of course you can put Punk, you can put iDom, you can put different phenom players like that in the same echelon. But as far as on a widespread basis, there is no region that is touching Japan. I mean, the amount of heart and soul, the amount of entertainment that this region has provided to us just makes no sense. Right now, there's a player out of this region that hasn't qualified yet, and everybody knows, man, the elephant in the room, the GOAT in the room, arguably the best player in fighting game history, is none other than Tokido. He is not qualified for the CPT season final yet, and before hadn't been qualified for Cup yet. In Japan 3, he actually had a very surprising result, being put out at 17th place. Imagine Tokido not even making top 16 out of this world. And a player he lost to was Kichiparmu, so we got to make sure we give him his flowers. I think that's actually, at this point, we have to say that's a demon for Tokido. Mm-hmm. I mean, we seen him get his get back against him at Capcom Cup that one year when Kichiparmu was giving him a whole lot of problems with that Geef. And people were like, man, maybe Akuma versus Zangief is a trash matchup. But then, even at this point, this is him using Urien, and Kichiparmu is still winning. Double Jeopardy in Tokido. But even with that being the case, we just most recently saw Tokido showing exactly who he is at Kemonomichi. I'll let you break down exactly what happened there with him versus Kawano.
Yeah, so if you don't know about Kemonomichi, it's an event that Daigo puts on where he has multiple game champions and extraordinary players across different genres meet to compete. And kind of like the theme is you get one shot, don't miss your chance to blow. You got one shot at Kemonomichi usually to show up, put in work, and make a statement against your fellow gamer in whatever domain it may be. And for the Street Fighter V event this year, they had Kawano going up against Tokido. Now, Tokido normally would not be part of this since he lost previously to Daigo. That's kind of been that storyline with Daigo versus Tokido, where Tokido was looking to finally get the long set format over Daigo, which he eventually got in Topanga. But he lost to Daigo and Kemonomichi, which means you're not supposed to come back. But Kawano was given the spot and the offer to challenge somebody to take part in this event, since Kawano's been doing so great, won Topanga League, and was asked by Daigo to participate after they had that super close set in the CPT Japan number 3 event where Daigo got first and Kawano got second. And he asked to challenge Tokido, because I guess if you're a young up and coming Street Fighter V player in Japan, you're making your mark, you want to take on the gods of Street Fighter, right? You don't want to just take on anybody. So Tokido is the one person who actually beat Kawano in Topanga League in that round robin format. You can still lose to certain players and still progress in the tournament. He lost that set first to 7 against Tokido, but still won the overall event. So he's gonna have a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I won the tournament, but that one guy got me. And man, leading up to that set, they filmed the promos beforehand, and Tokido, what I love about Tokido is he doesn't have to say much to say a lot, right?
Yes.
He just mentioned, he said, if Kawano thinks that he can get to my level in such a short span of time, that must mean that he has not fully grasped the situation.
Oh, goddamn!
The bars from Tokido, and of course, the man delivers. It was an interesting format. I believe it was best 2 out of 3 sets in a first to 4 format. So like each set, I believe, was first to 4, and you had to win the sets 2 out of 3 sets.
Yeah.
Kawano didn't get a set. He got like maybe 2 games, 3 games out of the total of Tokido winning 8. It was not close, unfortunately. Kawano never got another set to get going, and Tokido just kind of showed like, hey, you're good, kid. Keep it up. Maybe one day you'll get on my level.
Pat him on his head. Look, and even when it's talking about Tokido there, which of course I feel like for me that'll be the coolest thing to happen if Tokido was able to qualify. But you'll notice that me or Brian, we will not be providing any predictions as to who's gonna win this, because how could you? This region, they just have it all. You want to talk about footsies? They got it. You want to talk about anti-airs? You want to talk about history? Do you want to talk about legends? This region has it all. This is exactly what Street Fighter is and everything that it stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, it is time for the top 16 of CPT Japan, number 4, best region in the world.
All riders have to strike out on their own.
Let's do this!
So, you really want to go through the trouble? Fine. Easy mode too much? Sucks to be you. I'm always ready for a fight.
run off to Mom, Dad.
These matches are going to be even more ridiculous.
If you know anything about Street Fighter, you do not doubt the GOAT.
My man is always hitting go. You thought I was playing? Oh, you're hella dead.
The main event.
Help me out, Nadeshko.
Look how much it means to him. Wow.
Not over here. That's not over. Are you serious? My man is reading right now. My man is reading.
And here we are. It is the final Capcom Pro Tour event of 2021 season. Of course, we're in 2022, but this is it. This is the last one. It's Japan. No, we started with Japan #1.
Correct.
I remember the two of us were doing that.
Over 500 people, by the way.
Yeah.
For that one.
And now we're here, Japan #4, with how many entrants?
We've hit 323 entrants, and it's been absolutely consistent since Japan 2, 3, and up until this point. It's been over 300 players every single time, James.
Whew, wow. In, look, obviously, they were talking to Rob and Brian. We're talking about it. Japan, strongest region, deserves the 4 spots, given to them. And so we're trying to find out. So the first one was Mago. Second one was Higuchi.
Correct.
And then the third one?
The GOAT.
You do not doubt the GOAT, Daigo Umehara. And so a lot of people are wondering, in the bracket, they looked at the bracket. Where's Daigo? No, he's not doing the Punk or the Rob TV or the nephew thing, right? He's not gatekeeping anybody. He's staying out of the tournament, letting somebody else get through here. But I mean, there are so many names that are not in that 3 list already. Tokido, who's here. Fudo, who's missing from the top 16 completely.
That is a big surprise also, yeah.
Bon-chan, who lost in the first round of this tournament.
We have to talk about that route later, too, man. Bon-chan, barely missing out, especially right out of the gate from his bracket. That and Itazan not making it through yet?
Dude.
Or actually just not making it through at all? Why am I saying
you're
yet?
right.
He's going to just bust down the door and he's like, I'm time for SPD. No,
he's going to erase the bracket.
Yeah,
he's going
to take Kichipomu's spot. He's like, I taught you how to do this, by the way.
Yeah, and so, but we still have a bunch of really strong players in here. So Tokido is here, and, Kichipa is here, Fujimura, Kawano, Nemo, Gachakun did make it, Itsuki. Okay, let's just take a look at the bracket here. You can see, and Yamaguchi, this is a name that I am not familiar with much at all, but literally just got the intel that he is Momochi's newest student, younger than Higuchi, and really tries hard to play like Momochi. And here he is, and finally we're getting the youth in Japan to start showing up.
Yeah, just one of the sideline stories that's been really focused here in the top 16, right? You could see already the rivalries kind of stacking up. Tokido versus Kichipamu, one of the more interesting ones, right? We've seen Kichipamu sort of being the demon for Tokido, other than some of the other events that Rob and Brian have highlighted. But in the CPT itself, Kichipamu's been doing pretty good damage against Tokido.
Yeah, he double jeopardied him last in Japan 3. So Tokido wasn't even in top 16 because Kichipamu beat him twice. And here he is, demon status here again.
Yeah. And then you talked about Yamaguchi versus Fujimura, both being part of Shinobiism, right? Fujimura has taken the mantle as, an assistant coach, I feel like, for Momochi, because Momochi's pretty much like the CEO. He's putting the teams together. He's trying to scout all the best players. Fujimura's pretty much taken the role of the coach for the team, also being one of the more dominant players since his transition into Cammy and Chun-Li. Then you have Kawano versus Kudo. Kawano being an absolute monster.
Second place last time, losing to Daigo, and then 320 players, like I said, we know a lot of these players. I actually don't know anything about Kudo.
Not going to lie, I'm in the same boat. All I know is that he's given us some of his information and says that he's playing Chun-Li today, this weekend.
Okay, well, kudos to him. Mizuha going up against Nemo. You can see in the bottom of the bracket over there. And then on the loser's side already, we're starting with Sakaguchi going up against Peroshi. Yosana Nishiken, that's going to be a Jury versus Blanca match.
I cannot wait, actually. The only exposure I've had from Blanca is some of the players in the U.S., but mostly from Street Fighter League Japan, from Nishiken, right? And then Yosan being one of the premier jury players that a lot of folks that have kind of, starting to put their eyes on. Of course, we have Shuto versus Gachikun. That is a match that has been going on for ages, I feel like, in terms of Street Fighter League.
And, and Gachikun was the one who actually eliminated Bonchan.
Correct. Yeah. And Shuto is still finding his bearings with Yuri, and like he's starting to evolve. Like he had a really great year in 2020, going into 2021. He's starting getting a little shaky, but he's starting to mess with a little bit of like extra characters here and there. I'm not going to reveal who just yet. And then, of course, down below, Uita Jun versus Itsuki.
Yes, it's one of the greatest Dalsums that's out there from Japan right now. It's like him and YC Mochi, who are considered like the Dalsum gods of Japan. And Dalsum's been on a tear. I mean, even though Arturo got third last week, everyone just started like complaining about Dalsum on the social media verse for no reason.
It really happens once the Dalsum gets highlighted, I feel like. But then I talk to all the other Dalsum players. They're like, we don't know what the heck these guys are talking about. It's really indifferent when it comes to like the Dalsum player, but then outside of that scope, everyone's like, you guys are full of yourselves. Like Dalsum's mad good, and you know it.
Oh man! And so obviously, look, the 16 players we have here, all amazing players here, and of course, we have to mention the fact that Capcom Cup was canceled this year, right? So the players here are, playing for not only the prize money, but also the opportunity, though, because we're still going to put on a show for you guys. Make sure we have a bunch of exhibitions and stuff involving the players who qualify. So there's still something with that. And, they'll still get a spread of the prize money there. But this event itself has its own amount of money on the line as well, and I believe it's about $5,000 for the top 4 players here, the prize pool, which is partially funded by the PlayStation tournaments. So shout outs to PlayStation once again, and as you can see here, so there's a little bit on the line here, but a
little bit, that's a good amount, man. I'll take that for playing in the comfort of my own home. If I were in Japan and the internet infrastructure is that good, best believe I'm like, I can make some money just chilling. I'm gonna be pressing buttons all day, beating the heck out of my opponents and outplaying them, and you're gonna pay me for it? Why not? That's a match.
But I mean, this is Japan. You know that there's a lot of pride on the line, right? There's definitely a lot of pride, and I mean, even they were referencing Brian and Rob were referencing the Kemonomichi.
Yes.
Do you remember after Kawano lost, like he wouldn't get up from the chair? He sat in the background, and like Daigo and I think it was Hamako who were like doing like they were trying to like close out the show, and Kawano was just sitting back there, and it was like brutal to watch, like because he was so shaken up by that.
It's happened so many times over, right? That literally happened to the Kemonomichi prior, where Tokido was in that exact seat, right? He was forced to get up, and he had all this emotion. He was actually crying.
He lost
during
Daigo.
His interview. He lost to Daigo, right? Yeah. So it's a big deal. They take it very, very seriously out there. Not to say that people don't in the other regions, but you could see it like physically. You can see how much it means to the players, even if it's something like Kemonomichi, right? That exhibition is a lot of there's a lot of pride into it, right? A lot of
like attention, like kind of like put a lot of stock into it.
But it's a lot of effort from the players themselves.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they come up as the winner, because all that work going for naught, and like you're trying to come up with a strategy and a solution, and it just doesn't come your way. It's like, what was this practice for then, right? But you got to see the brighter picture, right? They're here. They're both here in the CPT. When you talked about Tokido and Kawano, a lot of these other players too that we haven't seen, those are the ones we really want to highlight as well, because again, being able to showcase some of these talented players in the light of a CPT is something we're all about. We want to make sure to highlight the players as much as possible from these regions. It's cool to see some of the favorites up there consistently, but when you see a name that you haven't seen personally, it's like, this is going to be spectacular.
Right. And speaking of, adjustment, Kemonomichi trying to learn and everything like that. Tokido, after he lost to Daigo, did end up defeating Daigo, I think, in the next tournament they fought against. Guess who else Tokido lost to a bunch recently? Kichipa.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, he's probably studied that matchup. That is literally the first matchup that we have here on the stream today for you guys. And so I'm really curious how these players are going to be approaching this match. So I believe we have the quotes ready for these players here. We're going to start with Kichipa, who says, "I'll put in my best effort."
Very straightforward. Not quite what matches his character when it comes to being on camera and how he is with a team and a team format, but I'll take it.
If you talk to people how they treat grapplers, if you want to match a character, you'd be like, rah, rah,
that's not what I was thinking. But here, let's take a look at what Tokido had to say going into it as well. He's going in saying, "I've been growing a lot lately. Time to show it off."
I love the picture.
Take note of this picture, by the way, okay? In about a year, the way that he has been pumping iron in his home gym, he is going to be massive. Every one of his games has been in his gym as well. He has, like, his background, there's, like, a squat rack in the back. There's, like, a bench press rack as well.
Dang.
He's got it all. Like, he plays Street Fighter V in his gym. I'm not even exaggerating.
Look, I feel like the past year, I've been playing lots of games, and I've been getting massive, too.
Brother. Big brain. I see you. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. See, it's hidden behind all that glorious hair. But we're getting into it, right? Tokido versus Kichipamu, who's going to be our first matchup of the day. Expectations are going to go out the window as soon as it starts, but best believe it's going to be some of the best Street Fighter you've ever experienced, hands down, because this is one of the best regions with Japan number 4. The final qualifier as we get ourselves ready for the season finale. It's Tokido versus Kichipamu. What are your thoughts going into it, first and foremost?
Look, I'm just going to say this. I have been a grappler player since the beginning. Zangief is one of my main characters since Street Fighter 2. I've always loved playing grapplers. You know, I joked about grapplers, but look, grapplers are like the most honest, like, footsie characters in the game. Like, they require so much patience and so much...
Ultra David, is this you? Have you been hanging out with David too much? What is going on, man?
David will agree with me.
He will. That's why I've asked this question. But hey, we're going to see how honest the footsies are with Kichipamu going right into it, right? Tokido is going to go for that strategy of kind of being a nuisance outside of the range where Zangief wants to throw out his normals. It's a great time to get that V-skill going too. Tokido is still trying to counter-poke, and this is what he wants, right? He wants to bully with projectiles.
And I see Kichipa likes to play up maybe to the stereotype of grapplers, as his name is Strong Monkey on the CFNs there, which is hilarious to me.
I love it, personally.
And also just, noting the beautiful little banners in the background for the Street Fighter duel. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later on.
Oh, best believe that's guaranteed. The Strong Monkey, yes sir. The flex out of it, but Tokido getting himself out of the SPD, out of danger as well. The side switch gets to use so much estate after that. So smart. Tokido getting that charge up, but still not in time, right? That's still in the danger zone.
Yeah, but that was only a light SPD, so no mix-up afterwards. That's the important part about that. If you get light SPD, you quick rise, and you get out. What the?
Get out of nowhere, right? EX SPD, the meaty situation. That is a heavy SPD to follow through. Kichipamu a couple touches away, checks the low into the throw, and that's going to be round 1. So explosive from one opening.
So again, the EX SPD has the range of the light SPD, but the mix-up potential of the heavy SPD. That's why it's so powerful, can get the party started. After a heavy or EX SPD, if Zangief dashes, he's +2. So if you try to wake up with a 3-frame or 4-frame button and he SPDs, he beats you. That's the whole mix-up of Zangief right there.
And it's been so impressive. Kichipamu has been actually countering the counter-poke strategy against Tokido just at the right ranges. His footsies have been immaculate.
Yeah. And again, it could also just be a thing. Once Zangief does get that loop on you, when he gets the vortex on you, too slow. Too slow. That's supposed to be a combo.
I guess you could say it was too late.
And the thing is, maybe he just has Tokido's number. He just knows what Tokido's thinking as being part of Tokido's demon, you know?
This is a dangerous situation, right? Tokido no longer having access to fireballs because of the fact that the trigger is locked and loaded from Kichipamu. Big counter hit, but still nothing of it afterwards. It's just a little too far to really get a continuation.
Goes for the low.
And it's so awkward, right? Kichipamu, I feel like, oh man, the trigger is now loaded for Tokido as well. Does get the hit.
You got it. Okay, here we go. But actually, it's almost like Zangief was a little too thick, and so the bounce off of there didn't happen properly. He didn't get the combo that he was expecting.
What's so wild is Kichipamu is still one hit away from potentially taking it all away. From Tokido. This is where the mix happens, right?
Tokido, after blocking the V-trigger, just comes right in with a lariat without a trigger behind it or anything. He was going to be -2. And actually, Kichipamu might have even been able to punish it with a super and kill him.
Possibly. And that's the scary thing. Like, even though Kichipamu was -2 after holding down the tornado, it was just like, he understands that it's not his turn, but something wild still might happen.
Right. All right.
Checking.
Yeah, back to this neutral over here for Tokido here. And again, you know, it's that standing medium punch for Zangief is so good, and it's like I feel like it's like the crux of his entire footsies there. They buffed it one season.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
This is so tough. This is perfect for a grappler, but no, Tokido.
Oh, and he got
no
the back
fear.
throw.
The back dash away from the throw, firing right back.
No.
Saturday Slam Masters right into the middle of the mat.
No. Okay, so big life lead now, but Tokido still has that V trigger there. Oh, here we go, the V reversal out of there, yeah, but yeah, now he's worried about getting kicked into it, so he's gonna just use the V break to get away from it and stave off the first mirror. Tokido still sitting on a second one though. Gotta be careful of that.
And I like him taking the kind of precaution of V reversal in case Tokido wanted to follow past the fireball. That was pretty cool from Kichipamu, but Tokido sort of backing it up, does get the fireball, a little bit of damage, does get the charge up, he still as well. He still has a second mirror.
Right, and all the little damage that Kichipa takes is bad because one combo off the mirror. Oh, but the V-shift, yeah, that's all he was waiting for, and there you go, goes right through the projectile with the projectile invo lariat, and Kichipa taking game number 1 over Tokido. And so, again, remember, we're starting at 2 out of 3. And so Kichipa 1 game away from once again just being the biggest thorn in Tokido's side.
That's got to be a real nuisance if you're Tokido. Now you're thinking to yourself, it's like, is Urien going to be the right play here? Should I even switch it up? No, he's sticking to his guns as he should.
Yep.
To be quite honest, it wasn't that big of a beatdown. Tokido back at it with the Urien. Kichipamu making the right adjustments too. Very early on, now we got to see what Tokido's going to do. He's going to be adamant about this fireball game. He's utilizing medium kick a little bit more now. You saw it.
Oh, I haven't heard Tokido was practicing Boxer for a little bit. And I know V-Skill 2 Boxer can give Zangief problems, but maybe something that Tokido's not confident in enough yet. Yeah, and you see him just absorbing all these hits. The gray health is building. Yeah, too far away. And look at this. Yeah, it wasn't even just like a crouching strong. He went for the full crouching heavy punch.
Masterclass in punishing. Tokido making the most of it. And again, the proper adjustments, we were just talking about it too. I don't know if he had the proper charge yet, but still back throw.
He went for the thunderstorm. Look, he just wanted to get the mental damage there.
He was building meter is what it was. He was building himself some meter to bring into the next round. But you can't take it with you if Tokido manages to get it again. V-skill into heavy SPD, punishing the tackle.
Yep, and just continuing keeping those plus frames. But Tokido does manage to get out of there. Even if you take those hits like that, that's considered a win if you can get away from Zangief's spinning pile driver vortex.
And I like it. Tokido starting to mix it up. There's a forward dash. Ambiguous. The aggression is there.
Yeah, again, Urien, just this character, his dash is so hard to see. Shades of Season 1 Nash, you know.
And that's fair. It's been pretty troublesome. It's been pretty much a nuisance in the online realm, trying to stop anybody's dash. But
oh, and he goes for it.
No way!
He just does it. He just does it.
Now
why not? Why not? Yep, and now you're just going to get jabbed to death potentially here. Now you've got yourself the second mirror.
But no longer a threat. V-shift out, pushes him further into the corner, and just one touch away, just absorbing the fireballs. And what a way to end it. If you're looking to build meter, that's probably the best way you can do it. Kichipamu maximizing that.
It's smart because he was, poking with a crouch light punch. Knows Tokido can't take even a single light punch, so he just faked it. You saw him juke a little bit and then just walked up another, like 2 or 3 pixels light SPD game. Or round, I should say. Ow!
What an amazing start right now for Kichipamu into this next round. He's built himself a decent amount of life. He's slowly getting that V-gauge up for the defensive maneuvers he needs to.
Oh, yeah, he can't absorb that many hits.
Not that many. He'll take some, right? Utilizing that V-skill, he's slowly building up that trigger.
Got the... Oh, no, he tried to throw a little too early. Oh, V-shift. Interesting decision there. That means it's going to be harder for him to get the Aegis Reflector. Ow! Okay, here comes Tokido. Yeah, jumps away immediately. He's like, I'm not going to get... God, that headbutt is... It might even be priority system that it's beating that standing medium kick. Now you got to watch out for Aegis Reflector. Oh, he could have comboed into it right there, I think.
He could have. So now it's going to be so tricky. Tokido is looking for a way to activate it off of a medium kick or a whip punish.
Okay.
Is he going to build enough? No.
Oh, watch out! Oh, boy.
It's the mirror. Critical art?
Yeah, just go for the super. Get him.
That was actually pretty worrisome. Kichipamu went for a crouching jab and then SPD immediately after. But Tokido just had to wait it out and get a proper punish. That was very... I don't know how to exactly phrase this, but I feel like that was the only reason why Tokido got that W is because Kichipamu had a slight error on the crouching jab going into SPD.
Dude, I just screamed, watch out. That was like, I don't even know where that came from. Like, that wasn't even like commentary brain. That was like,
WWE. Like, watch out. Like, he's coming in from the top ropes. Look out, JR. Like, it's
oh, man.
It's natural.
I felt panic, dude. Like, all of a sudden, I just felt this panic out of nowhere, and I just screamed, watch out.
I mean, the next thing you know, you're going to start screaming out, "By God Almighty, he had a family." It just happens, man. You see a wrestler in a wrestling ring, you just want to do it.
All right, game 3 now. Game 3 here. And yeah, there you go. That standing heavy punch, fully charged, different range than non-charged, which is what makes it harder to whip punish sometimes.
And look at the scenario already. Kichipamu locking him down. Tokido taking the risks.
Yeah, but he's out there.
Headbutt.
That was like a season 1 jump back OS tech, it almost looked like. All right, but watch out. Kichipa's got the... Oh, good whip punish.
Excellent whip
But
punish.
Kichipa has the V-trigger on deck, so can't throw raw fireball. Ooh, what a throw tech.
Very important one, too. I think that would have killed Kichipamu.
Oh, yeah. Tokido knows. He had the opto. So many people let Zangief get away with that activation right there. So, I mean, at that range, Tokido able to jump and punish.
Off to a great start. We talked about Kichipamu closing it out slowly. Ooh. There it is. Yeah, punishing the activation of the V-skill.
Light SPD gets up, and yeah, so Tokido wakes up with a button. If Zangief dashes after that, he's minus. Ooh.
Slowly walking him down. Tokido's still able to get a lot of these V-skills going, and it pushes Kichipamu back so far, I feel like.
Yeah, especially when he gets the charge up into the EX. You see how plus he is? Like, he's just sitting there blocking like 90 hits. Got the good lariat, so he gets the mix-up. Here he goes, EX SPD mix-up, regular throw. Okay.
When was the last time you saw a regular forward throw from Zangief?
Yeah, I know, right? But sometimes you do it just so you don't want to get punished if they jump away and such. Oh, jumping over the fireball, getting the SPD. It's enough to kill. We're at final game, final round between Tokido and Kichipa. Is it going to be the demon or the former demon coming out through this match here?
Oh, I see what you did there. We haven't seen Akuma in so long.
Yeah, I know.
Man, it's so interesting.
We don't see him a lot. Oh, dang.
Ever, yeah. Kichipamu again.
Oh,
that's great. That's a great confirm for Tokido and extending the combo, spending the bar from earlier.
And getting the corner, the push. Again, you can see the logo on the bottom there. That's the center of the stage. As long as Tokido can try to stay on the other side of the...
Oh, no. Again. He didn't even get the V-skill charged up all the way.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You got to make sure you finish that whole animation. Ooh.
Oh, my God. If he jumped and he read it correctly, that would have been so...
Oh, no, the jump. Oh, no. He just missed the confirm. So Tokido, with the empty, doesn't combo.
Didn't have a charge. Or he had trigger.
Right, that's what I was thinking, that he was just going to go into trigger, but he missed that. And now Tokido, I mean, there's too much time for him to just run away into the... Oh, he got him! He got him!
He's not dead yet, is he?
No, he's not. A lot of damage here. Not going to go for the second mirror in the combo. He's going to hold on to it.
This is going to be so dangerous, though. Kichipamu, he just runs into the metallic sphere. No, not like this, thinking he had the time to move forward.
Yeah. And look at this, Tokido. It looked a little dicey at first.
Dicey, yeah.
But he has managed to overcome his demon here, as a player of his caliber will do. I mean, they Robin and Brian mentioned that, you know, they talked to him about Kawano challenging him in the Kemonomichi, and Tokido was like, oh, if he thinks he's up to my level, I mean, you know, if you say something like that about Kawano, you'd better come out and make sure you defeat Kichipa.
That's fair. That is pretty fair. I mean, like, you can't really, I don't know how much you could really compare the two, because Kichipamu has been such a wrench in so many players' years, to be honest with you. And Kichipamu can really hold his own. You can see it right in the replay here, right? It was so convincing that he was going to take it all until that one mishap in the third game.
Oh, where the,
the second
SPD,
game,
yeah, the SPD
second game.
missed. Yeah. Where he jabbed, and it's like he did the SPD on block timing, and he did it too fast or something.
Yeah.
It was right here, I think. Is it this one?
It was in that scenario, but then like the replay didn't catch it. We were going into it,
but then now he just runs in
yeah,
right there.
That's so troublesome.
I think what he might have been trying to do was just dash up and get just close enough, and maybe activate the V trigger to vacuum him in. So I think he was just trying to get in there, and wasn't able to do that. But Tokido, look, again, a lot of people feel this way, that Capcom Cup doesn't feel right without Tokido, right? So if we don't have him in any of the exhibitions, it would feel kind of weird to know that he didn't qualify, quote, qualify. And so here he is. He's done for the day. He will be playing tomorrow, and Kichipa has some time to chill right now before he'll play his match. He'll be in the last match of the day in loser's bracket. Yeah.
And I know a lot of these cats are still kind of streaming their runs as well, so you guys can have that kind of window open and see where they're at. I'm sure Kichipa was going to be playing a bunch of games as he gets ready. But in the meantime, we are transferring over to Yamaguchi versus Fujimura, both part of Shinobiism, which is going to be pretty interesting, right? We talked about Yamaguchi being one of the younger players. Younger than Higuchi was one of the big standpoints, right? Higuchi being one of the players that have made it into Capcom Cup, into the season finals with Guile, and now Yamaguchi kind of trying to pursue that as well.
Yes, and it's interesting because given the context of Tokido's quote about Kawano, is like, oh, if he thinks he's up to my level in such short amount of time, Japan really does have this. Their scene has this feeling of the veterans versus the younger players. The younger players haven't been showing up as much as they have been in a lot of other regions. Japan has largely been dominated by the veterans for all the major events. Players like Higuchi and also the Sakura player who won Evo Japan. Why is the name Nauman? That's what it was. Nauman taking that event was a big deal because they were all part of the younger crew, and so Yamaguchi here going up against Fujimura. Yamaguchi being this young is a big deal, I think, and I think it's kind of exciting to see.
You have some more players kind of in the same class as well. Shuto also in the lower half of the bracket, kind of within that range. Not as much. John Takeuchi was also one of those players. It's been a couple of years now, right? But he's still considered one of the newer generation of Street Fighter V players.
Yeah, exactly. And regardless, John Takeuchi is always going to look like he's 6 years old anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So
that's fair.
Still never will get over the fact that someone told me that they were watching him on the airplane, Johnny Tak, and he was sitting with his feet on the chair, like he was hugging his knees with his feet on the chair. Do you know how small those airplane seats are, man?
It's compact size.
Anyways.
Yamaguchi versus Fujimura. Let's take a look if we have the quotes ready for these two players. Going in with Yamaguchi first, I will try my best to win the tournament, as you should each and every time.
Exactly.
Yamaguchi with his eyes on the prize, but he has to face off against one of his teachers, I feel like.
And that, of course, is Fujimura, famed for his Ibuki play in Street Fighter V, moved on to other characters. He says, I'm aiming to win. I don't want to be a springboard for that player. Oh, okay. He doesn't want to be one of the early veteran notches on the belt of Yamaguchi.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, yeah, we're part of the same team. I'll teach you a couple of things to get you better, but I'm still going to beat the heck out of you. If I ever see you in tournament, best believe I'm taking the limiters off. And I feel like what's wild about that statement, too, is that Fujimura has really had his sights on trying to win with like the best chances possible.
Yes.
And I say that because he's picked Cammy now.
Yeah, no, like I was saying, he was very well known for using Ibuki. Ibuki really kind of has fallen off in the past couple of seasons, and now going with that Cammy, and Cammy, has she been weak ever in Street Fighter V? Like in all,
think so.
I think she's always at least been in top 10 or top 5.
No matter what part of the world you are from, you are always going to have Cammy within the top 5 discussion.
Yes, exactly.
That is point proven for sure.
Yeah, and so it's good character for Fujimura to go with. And, Cammy is a character very straightforward, very simple, yet somehow Fujimura is the kind of player that will find new juice out of these characters that you feel like are completely figured out. I've seen him use like her V reversal from far away just to move in close to punish, and
he's a robot, man. He'll find ways to optimize in ways that you never even thought of. He's going through every single algorithm you could possibly do with Cammy and make it work.
Yeah, and the Yamaguchi, the youngin here, also using the youngest character in Street Fighter lore, Nobody younger than Luke, brand new character to the entire series. The newest character to be added. Okay.
We'll see how this plays out. I do want to see what kind of neutral Yamaguchi brings to the table, but as it stands right now, Fujimura already making quick work off of that throw, but it does reset the situation a little bit.
Yeah, what I'm really curious about this is that Luke has really interesting footsies. The fireball, the range on the buttons, you know, charging to get safe on block punches and sometimes plus if you charge it all the way. I want to see how that matches up with Cammy.
You won't see it as often, especially with Trigger 1, right? He's going for like the Sandblaster ender, or at least the Sandblaster trigger. And I feel like that hasn't really done much in this matchup. I've seen this before in Street Fighter League, specifically against Fujimura too. I don't know what Luke can actually do to kind of really stop her from this part of the game, right?
Ooh, no drill off of that crouching medium kick. Fujimura's really good at the single hit confirm for Cammy.
Oh, that's going to be huge. It's so far away, but Fujimura still is able to reach. Not quite dead. Oh, you're dead now.
And then optimizing the kill, but that didn't kill. I mean, yeah, the V-trigger cancel causes a lot of scaling, but still, I'm really surprised by that.
Very, very surprised, yeah.
And again, there's that single hit confirm again. Probably using the stun bar as most people do when they go for the single hit confirms.
Oh, that was so slick. He used the flash knuckle as a way to bait, thinking the Sandblaster was coming out. Very sneaky from Yamaguchi.
All right, back to the neutral here. Oh, there we go.
He could have gotten so much. That was counter hit too, James. Oh no.
Just wasn't ready for it. Oh, the autocorrect on the DP and a raw activation from Fujimura. Very interesting. You don't see that a lot from Cammy at all. Oh, he didn't care. He would have died if he got blocked, but you know, maybe he would have thought, oh, I would go into the next round with Yamaguchi and no meter if he does block this.
Oh, that's so sneaky.
And remember, Yamaguchi's V-trigger is not going to go down unless he uses it. There it is. It was actually building up a little bit. That's the whole gimmick with Luke and his V-trigger.
I feel like here Yamaguchi is still trying to bait out with Sandblaster a little bit, but if Fujimura reads it correctly and gets a critical art, like Yamaguchi can't use a special move other than, you know, like committing to something like Sandblaster. Sure, it hit, but if he were to commit to like a flash cannon, or sorry, flash knuckle or like a Sandblast, Fujimura was buffering that critical art. That would have been lights out.
He was just going to try to raw super him, but now here comes Fujimura. Oh boy, getting counter poked here into the target combo, back throw. Ooh, too far. And again, no confirm on the single hit, and a misconfirm right there this time from Fuji.
And I love the corner carry there. Oh, yeah! Not enough time. I love that.
No free V reversals for you.
Rock it up.
Ooh. And again, there's that autocorrect. Fujimura choosing not to cancel that into a super for some, you know, big damage. He's going to save it here. And now almost at a V-trigger, but doesn't have it quite yet. He's going to have to block something because he doesn't want to take any more hits because that's going to be too risky at this point. There we go. Now he has the V-trigger.
This is kind of dangerous.
Okay, good patience from Yamaguchi. Not getting baited by the close. Oh my God, that thing is so fast.
I legit blinked. I saw the throw. I'm like, oh yeah, I can blink here. He's gonna walk backwards. No, the trigger came out immediately afterwards.
Holy crap, that thing is so fast. Yeah, that's not something you. What's the startup on that? Like, I don't even feel like you could react to that one just on sight right there.
And it's just so dangerous because of the fact like he's really testing Fujimura's patience. You see the critical art on deck too from Fujimura. Yet Yamaguchi's like, you know, I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, well, Fujimura is in a position right now where he might be one of the first veteran notches on Yamaguchi's belt here. So he says he doesn't want to give any power to that guy. Well, that guy is doing well right now.
It could literally be every other person that's in the pocket too.
He had that quote ready at the start of the tournament, you know.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Oh, here we go. Big combo. Has the V-trigger activated. As you can see right down there, the V-trigger bar not draining on its own.
Oh my God, it's so fast.
And it's just...
Oh, the counter hit. He's going to get the full sequence, and he gets a stun.
Oh my goodness, and you
are actually dead.
Maybe?
No, you're dead. Yeah, Sandblaster, you get to do an uppercut right after that, too.
Right. I mean, I was just thinking scaling maybe, but I guess not. Holy moly, that was damage, and
no.
this is a great start.
Oh,
charged
no,
it for a little too
again.
long. So in case you guys aren't familiar with Luke, you can charge his special moves, the punch special moves,
The flash knuckle, yeah.
and they get special powers, but you can charge them too long. So there's like this magic window to make sure you charge it long enough and not too long. But I think this is it. That is going to be it. And Yamaguchi, the youngin'.
Remember what I said about that initial phase where the neutral is pretty important as Cammy? Like, you get to space Luke out a lot. He's got a lot of forward-moving moves, by the way.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him utilize that a little bit more. I was like, huh.
That's why I was curious about how this match is going to go, because Cammy, she usually controls a lot of the neutral against most characters with that standing medium kick, the crouching medium kick, etc., etc. But Luke has like these nice forward-moving moves and, interesting normals that can really shake that up. And so there you go. Yamaguchi sending Fujimura to the losers bracket, and he will be having the ultimate test in terms of trying to fight veterans up against Tokido as the first match tomorrow.
That's going to be so live. I cannot wait to see that. But, man, that's so impressive from Yamaguchi, right? Transitioning from his initial strategy of throwing out the sandblasters, again, one of the best projectiles in the game, he was really trying to test out that neutral first against Fujimura. And now he just went in that final round. I really have to watch that again because I feel like I legit blinked in the final round and it was over.
Right.
The damage output is massive.
Yeah, and there you go. Yamaguchi advancing forward. He's done for the day.
Absolutely.
Fujimura will have to win one match in the loser side of the bracket as we continue through the winner side over here. And it is going to be Hitbox's Kawano going up against Kudo. Again, Kudo, a player that I don't know much about at all. If anybody has any intel on him, feel free to send us some information.
Please do. We always love seeing the kind of tidbits that people can find, especially from those in Japan, that can tell us everything they know about certain characters or how they've been following them or what events they've been a part of, really, because we really want to highlight how they even got to this particular situation. They've been taking down name after name. So Kudo, again, with Chun-Li.
Yeah, which is exciting because Chun-Li is a strong character too, but we just haven't seen a lot of play from her, interestingly enough. But again, Kawano, second place last time. Daigo, if I'm not mistaken, had to come back from the loser side to defeat Kawano, I think it was. I know the last match was definitely a strong because we were commentating that one.
And
that
we
was,
legit I couldn't sleep for the rest of the evening. I lost my voice as well. I don't know about James, but I'm pretty sure he was not asleep. That's for sure. And we're going to get that kind of action throughout the entirety of this one, too, because it's already setting itself up to be pretty surprising, right? Yamaguchi taking down Fujimura, again, I feel like it's a slight surprise only because of the fact that we've seen a lot of Fujimura as Cammy, but Yamaguchi coming out of the woodwork with a character that is still new.
Right.
The newest character taking down a very, very strong one in the hands of someone like the machine Fujimura.
Right. And now I'm curious here, like, are we going to get any sort of hint as to Kudo's personality from his quote? Or I'm curious to see. Let's see if we can get any more insight directly from Kudo himself. All right. He says, I want to become the best. Okay. Okay.
That no one ever was.
There you go. Okay. Can't get any more straightforward than that.
And I'm sure Kawano has just as much to say, if not more. Oh, yeah, I was right on point. I was right on the money. I will try my best.
So we're going to have want to be the best and trying my best going up against each other. Whose best will come out on top between Kawano and Kudo? And again, Kudo is you said Chun-Li player, right? And that's going to be an interesting one because Chun-Li obviously has great normals. I always say that about this character. And that's one of Colleen's strengths. Is the good normals, right? So I wonder if Kudo is going to be able to match up with Kawano's neutral game.
One of the key differences is that Chun-Li does possess a fireball, so she can go to that game if need be. It can be a pretty big deal going into confirms. Like you could have like a, anything sort of going into a fireball and then delayed into like lightning kicks, EX lightning kicks, or lightning legs. But at the same time, one of the biggest things that I've noticed from Chun-Li is her inability to anti-air consistently now. Considering the light kick has been severely changed, she has like this kind of problem at sharper angles where she could get jumped in on. Right.
Right.
That's
It
just one
was-
of the biggest things. Like she is a phenomenal character when grounded.
Yeah, it
Or
was
at
that
least
whole,
focusing on the ground.
that whole nerf to the anti-air lights where like the bottom hurt box on everybody
Thank God.
jumping can't
Thank
get hit
God.
by a light attack. And so, yeah, that definitely nerfed her anti-airs a bit, but we'll see how Kudo handles that and if that even becomes a concern because Kawano obviously very strong and also very good at fighting you directly from the ground, you know, without even jumping that much. And, you know, in Street Fighter V, people say, you know, one of the beginner advices people always give is don't jump. You know, and-
Unless you play a dive kick character, jump all you want. No, but all jokes aside, that is actual facts.
yeah,
Make sure not to jump too much.
Yeah, if you jump, there better be a very, very good reason for it. That's the idea. And here goes Kawano. Again, straight off of the Kemonomichi where he lost to Tokido. I like this air-to-air from Kudo. Okay, that's a different kind of anti-air. Look at this damage that he's already started here in this round.
I did not even see that coming. That was pretty ridiculous. Kudo is already putting Kawano into the corner, but commentator's
Yeah,
curse coming in perfectly.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be able... No, he was worried that he couldn't get through in time. But he does have the V-trigger started now, so you got to watch out for the ice skates Colleen right here. It can dash in at you at any time. Watch your feet.
And it's such a kind of interesting predicament now. Kudo, despite not having too much room to work with, he's still moving forward pretty well. He's going to take this throw. That's going to be just fine. It puts him at trigger, and Kawano is slowly losing his as well. What an interruption!
Okay, he's going to be able to get a lot of damage off of this. Yes, there we go.
So sick.
And you know, one of the nice things about having moves like the EX Lightning Leg that hits so many times, you know, scaling, there's a minimum, right? So the amount of damage that you're losing off of scaling is not going to be as bad.
Did you see him just absolutely whiff punish the sweep? He didn't even let it finish. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm in
He's like
the perfect range.
He's like, I could block this and punish it, but I'm just going to punch you in the face.
Yep.
And look at this, Kudo. I mean, he wants to be the best. He's starting out pretty strong here against a player like Kawano.
Yeah. But Kawano has the adaptability gene. He's
Yeah.
he's definitely one to really turn it up, even after a loss that's kind of significant right now. Kudo is just laying it on Kawano, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to call it right now. Kudo is going to take this all the way.
Well, he only needs one little hit again. And
Yep.
one of the things that I was saying about Chun-Li, and one of the things that you said about the fireball, right there, and two, the normals being able to kind of neutralize Colleen's advantage that she has against a lot of other characters. And you saw that there. I mean, Kudo was just like heavy punch, heavy kick, heavy kick.
Dismantled Kawano in that round, which is going to be setting up for a really exciting turnaround, possibly from Kawano. But if Kudo keeps this up, he is looking to be one of the prime suspects into the top three because he is playing phenomenally.
It's a good
Look
start
at the
again.
awareness and just the game sense to, oh my God.
Gets the counter, gets the frame trap here, and now the throw, close to stun.
Another
back
one.
throw to make sure he
Jesus.
gets the stun, setting himself up a little bit of extra meter. Stomp, lightning kicks, and he's working on a perfect here. Oh,
Jesus.
No,
I legit saw that whiff punish and I punched James by accident. I'm sorry.
Kawano has not been able to activate V-Trigger in like two of the three rounds.
No. What has Kemonomichi done to him?
Oh, gosh, Tokido just completely demoralized him?
No, Kudo's playing out of his mind. I'm going to say it right now.
no,
Kudo
for
is playing
sure.
so well.
Well, look, I hadn't heard of Kudo before this, but he's on my radar right now. If he can keep this going, but you said this could be the setup for the most amazing comeback. And
This isn't the first time Kawano's been at the deficit where he's just down to the point where he's about to lose his
stun.
This is going to be great. Yeah, Kawano now with another chance at life. He does get to go into the next round. Nice and easy. This is where it can all change. Kudo has to be on red alert for this upcoming Kawano now.
Right, because if Kawano can take this...
If he can take this fierce into critical art, sure. What's going to be the setup afterwards? Is he just going to go for a jump in? No, he's going to dash up for the Oki instead.
I mean, it's such an interesting decision because you do take away a lot of your own utility for, you know, EX bird kicks on wake up. And now you know that if you whiff something, you're not going to get punished as badly. So it's an interesting choice from Kudo. I'm always not necessarily a fan of the round start, blow the super right away.
But I will say he did a great job of getting himself out of the corner. What a counter poke there from Kawano.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a slight whiff punish,
Yeah, it was like a spacing trap almost. Counter hit. Okay, close to stun. Actually, never mind. It is going to be a stun. And there we go. Like I said, you use the meter so quickly like that, and now every time you get knocked down, Kawano's like, this is a free meaty now. You have no EX bird kick. I can risk stuff because if you punish me, it's not going to be light kick into EX legs. It's,
that makes sense. The intimidation factor of having those 3 bars, which lead to damage, into Oki scenarios consistently, having a fear, the wake-up scenario as well. That's a hefty amount to think of, right? There's so many other options. You talk about mitigating your risk, as iDom was talking about last time.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of leave that all out once you get rid of your own bar. It's like, all right, well, I don't have that many risks to think about. Oh my God, air throwing the V skill, you love to see it.
I almost wish that, we had like the Game 2K out there to give me stats on round 3 start supers and how often that player wins, because I feel like they end up losing the round almost most of the time.
Yeah. Oh no, Kawano, we talked about this early on, right? When we got that first game deficit.
It's a trade. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Kawano is slowly picking apart his opponents. It's not over until it's over, and Kawano is the biggest proponent of that.
Yep.
He knows full well how to adjust to the situations. And look at this, already at match point against Kudo, but is it over quite yet? We'll see. Kudo's already fighting back and pushing Kawano away.
Oh, that's punishable, yeah.
Easily punishable.
There you go. Oh, but the wake-up buttons from Kawano challenging. Oh, I thought he was going to go for a tick throw. All right. Defensive projectile. And here we go, the activation for Kawano. Again, faking the throw. He's going for the frame trap every time. He's trying to make Kudo think he's going for the throw.
It's so dangerous now. Kudo's still playing at this range. Kawano slowly trying to move on in there, but no more trigger on the table.
Yeah, the trigger's out. But, he still got half his bar. He's going to build up another one potentially. Wow.
Why not? It's not punishable. What a counter poke.
My goodness.
Interrupting the roundhouse? Kawano, please.
Ow. And
forward
then the
throw.
Set up. You're stuck in the corner now. Oh, what a punish on the heavy punch. Was that a heavy punch?
That was a blatant call out from Kawano, by the way. That was so smooth. That man is cold as ice. He knew Kudo wanted to press fierce. He's like, I've played against this too much. Why am I losing again? Oh, okay, I got you.
Again, I felt like maybe Kudo thought that getting that super, usually when you do a round start super like that on round 3, you're trying to put the opponent into a nervous situation where you're getting them like, shoot, I have to fight from the deficit. But the thing is, Kawano, being probably the strongest player of the young generation, I feel like that's kind of Japan's consensus, that it's him or Higuchi are going to be the strongest from this younger generation. A player like Kawano, frankly, you can call him a veteran already because he's been at this for quite some time already.
He's been so consistent at it too, yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to get discouraged by that kind of thing. That kind of mental tactic isn't going to work on him because he knows now you have no tools. And, meter is as valuable as life in this game.
That is very true.
Right? So if you spend all of your meter and drain my life, and I still have my meter, we're even. He doesn't consider that he's that far down.
Yeah, you're looking at the potential damage that could come from that output of the critical art, right? And it doesn't even have to be from critical art. It could just be from little tidbits like here and there. Kawano has used his meters so successfully outside of critical art to drain down and apply even more pressure, because you're looking at the damage that critical art presents, right? As he moves on into the top 8 bracket, Kawano is chilling for tomorrow. He gets to put you in so many scenarios where he gets consistent Oki. He gets to put you in an unfavorable position in the corner and get to outplay you with his normals in that scenario because you can't move back from it. So, again, Kawano really showing off his veteran prowess now.
Yeah. Making
sure to utilize his meter to the most of his advantage. And Kudo just falling short a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
And maybe, I don't know how many tournaments he's played and how many times he's gotten into top 16. But this, if he is as new as we feel like he is to a top 16, might be a little bit of the inexperience right there.
Yeah, that's
coming through.
That's the scariest thing when you see it and you experience it at the same time. It's like, man, just the smallest error can really turn the tide. It's like that's the life of a pro player, man.
Yeah, but Kawano, of course, second place last time on his way into the top 8 on winner's side.
Yep, and as we saw, you guys saw a little bit earlier about some of the stages we've been implementing here in the Capcom Pro Tour. The first stage is like the Ring of Destiny, and we've seen the Street Fighter Duel logos going up everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are actually looking pretty sick.
Yeah, the Street Fighter Duel, of course, which is the Capcom authorized mobile game, is now available for download in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. Originally just only available in China, now spreading across the eastern regions right now, but other regions are coming soon. Follow Ryu, Chun-Li, and others to explore the mysterious organization, assuming they mean Shadaloo. Experience the classic stories with all your fighters and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Counter, stun, combo, super, an impressive array of fighting elements, and the innovative multiplayer combos offer you a new battle experience challenging your strategy and control. A variety of PvP gameplays and tournaments with in-game rewards will inspire you to fight. The arcade legend is reborn on the mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best.
You know, I really can't wait because one, they use the Street Fighter 4 font for the title, for the logo. I love that. Second of all, I'm a sucker for mobile games. But in the meantime, I'm going to be hanging out with the rest of you, joining in on as many tournaments as possible. You can do so as well over on PlayStation. Head over to compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation tournaments and find out more of all the Street Fighter V tournaments that have been going on throughout the year. PlayStation has been putting on for the fighting game community for so long now, and have put on so many exhibitions as well. If you guys want to get into the fighting game community, now is a great time, especially with Street Fighter V and especially with the Open Series.
Yep, and we're going to be moving on the winner side of the bracket right after this upcoming break. The last two players, Mizuha and Nemo, coming up after this. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Time to fly. Time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly. Time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
I guess it's time to start warming up. riders have to strike out on their own.
Let's do this.
Right back to where we left off. This is the Capcom Pro Tour Japan qualifier number 4. Vicious here with James Chen, and we saw what had transpired between Kawano and Kudo. We called it out too. Kawano playing it like a fiddle at the very, very end, taking advantage of that slight mishap that Kudo had, putting himself into top 8, playing tomorrow, but it's not going to be the end of the winner's bracket. We still have plenty more to go through, and as we see Mizuha getting ready to face off against Nemo, that is going to be a wild match.
Yeah, Nemo, of course, you know, I'm sure absolutely thrilled right now that Itazan is not in this bracket. But, you know, also, you know, he's poised himself here. Very strong player. And the thing about Nemo, I mean, gosh, it's, you know, he's been streaming a lot. He's been doing a lot of content. Who's this guy going to use? Like, he's played like everybody recently. And so, like, I feel like he can bust anybody out. Now, is it going to be Urian or Gil? Probably.
I would love to see Oro.
See, that's what that is exactly where I'm leading this towards. I would love to see him bust out Oro.
The reason why is because we've had a little bit of intel that Mizuha has been also using Luke on the side. I know we've seen a lot of his Colleen explode onto the scene for Street Fighter League, right? He had a little rough start in the beginning of the season, really starting to put it together with that character and snipe out a lot of the harder picks, or at least the harder competition in the league. But there's been some rumors, right? I haven't seen the record as his, you know, route has progressed in the CPT, but he has a pocket Luke.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, it would be interesting, right? He busts out Luke like, you're not as familiar with this. And then Nemo's like, oh, I
also have a Luke, by the way.
Or he busts out his own Oro, right? So, I mean, cool. in the U.S., we just had Tristan Prophet actually take a tournament over Arturo in grand finals. So, you know, we're just getting to see some cool Oro play recently. And I know if he bust out Oro, Brian F. would be happy about it, too.
Oh, without a doubt. I even see Brian F. in Nemo's chat sometimes, like talking to him about it. Like, how's Oro? And he's just like, no, he's all right now. I think Nemo's got a lot of work in the lab that he's waiting to bust out. Maybe we'll see it today, but in the meantime, we're going to see the quotes going into it between Mizuha and Nemo. Let's take a look at what they had to say to each other going into the top 8. Mizuha, of course, copy and pasting what Kawano had to say, putting in, I will give it my best, as expected.
You know, when we ask for these quotes from the Japanese players, we should ban the word best.
And will.
and will. And try.
I give it my. Okay.
I will do the opposite of my worst. Let's see what Nemo
do the opposite of my worst. That needs to be framed. Let's take a look at what Nemo had to say.
Nemo says, I'm happy that I beat the player who I lost to last time. Time to make top 8. Okay.
Let's go.
All right, there we go. Nemo showing a little bit of fire here. Always glad to be able to beat the person you lost to. Just ask Tokido, right? So, and Nemo here, trying to get to that top 8. That's what he wants to do. And again, Tokido, Kawano, Nemo, names that we would expect to see in a top 8. Yamaguchi, maybe a little bit of the surprise. Mizuha kind of surprise Nemo as well.
It would be pretty cool because then you'll see a bunch of new guards going up against Tokido. Realistically, right? You have Yamaguchi, Kawano already in there, who's kind of like a hybrid at this point.
Right.
We did kind of dub him as a veteran because of the way that he's been playing.
Of course,
He's been dominating for a while now in Street Fighter V. Mizuha slowly getting back up into those ranks. I feel like he had a pretty early start in Street Fighter V, doing pretty well for himself, and now really standing out as his own as Colleen. Whereas Nemo, he's been around the block in a multitude of Capcom fighting games. So
I was saying, like, maybe it could be a Colleen mirror if Mizuha can win, but maybe not because he is definitely busting out the Luke.
Word.
All right, so Japan thinks very highly of this character, huh? Because, like, he's already here from a lot of players. All right. There's that standing medium kick, which is just a really good button. It looks stubby.
It looks so cool.
It looks like it doesn't have the range, but the way he rotates is what gives it the range. All right. Ooh.
It's the physics of it all.
All right. Yeah, negative. Go run for the throw. Nice tech by Nemo, but look at this. Mizuha.
And he just went for the knockdown from the target combo, by the way. Just the medium punch target combo. He didn't even want to go into trigger. He wants to go into a plus scenario instead. So,
yeah. Well, he's got it activated here, and V trigger 1, V skill 1 is the common combination that you see from Luke players. Daigo, I think, at one point even saying that he felt V skill 2 was very strong, but we haven't seen a lot of that one. That's the anti-throw. Here we go. The mix-up. He does stand up and gets caught low. Doesn't have quite the meter for the critical art, but now, oh God, he's challenging.
As he should, because that could have been way dangerous if Nemo actually opened up into a full sequence.
Ooh, the armor!
The chaser. No chaser, excuse me. Man, that is perfectly timed from Mizuha. Nice work.
Yeah, I was actually worried about chip damage for both of the characters, for both players at that point. Busting out in the... okay, you're just going to get crouch heavy punch out of the air. You're going to use that opportunity to charge up the fireball, the V skill 2.
Ooh. To confirm off of the low medium kick, went for a safe jump opportunity, but Nemo, no, doesn't get a meaty off.
All right. Oh, wow, that
just out of range.
Yeah, just outside the range. Sandblast. Oh, look, see what I mean with the range on that medium kick? It just hits so much farther than it looks like it does. Gets the charge.
Can we talk about his jump medium kick animation, by the way? That is the most Enter the Dragon kick I've seen, and I love Capcom 4.
Bust through, went for the overhead. Oh, is that enough? Does he have the calculation?
No, he was off just by a pixel. Quite literally a pixel. Mizuha barely taking it over Nemo.
Everybody's like watching the bar like, oh,
not like this.
I wonder if Nemo did like the lean, like the...
And then as soon as he doesn't see KO, he's like, oh, no. That's unfortunate.
Man.
Oh,
okay. No. Well, there you go. Mizuha taking game number 1.
That's just how it is sometimes, man.
Yeah, Luke looking strong in this Japan number 4. Of course, he wasn't available for the other Japan tournaments and already making a mark over here. We had Yamaguchi take out Fujimura, and now Mizuha doing some serious damage here with Luke.
This character is so sick. He's so good.
Yes, the range on these normals, you know, Street Fighter V, you know, there's that medium kick again.
Knuckle, into the upper.
Street Fighter V has kind of been known for having, you know, fairly stubby normals on a lot of characters. So when I first saw Luke's normals, I was like, holy crap, this character has good range.
And now this is a very favorable position for Nemo, but still the interruption from Mizuha. What is going on?
That was a V reversal, I think.
Oh, boy.
Slicing that fireball right in half with the Sandblaster. Mizuha 1 round away from sending Nemo to the loser side and getting to top 8. Oh no, that was an execution error.
It had to be EX Sandblaster, right?
And yeah, and then Nemo neutral jumped. I felt like he was trying to forward jump.
Maybe he thought the fireball was coming too. Does get the counter hit, but still opts to go for the fireball instead of confirming it into anything bigger. But
Good
it's going to be
whip
just
punish.
fine. Nemo just swinging now, getting the throw punches. This is going to be a great activation for Mizuha. At least an added advantage.
All right, Nemo not quite at V-trigger range, though. This combo's going to put him there.
Oh
Holy
my
crap,
God.
that did a lot of damage.
But not too many resources after that.
That was like such a delayed cancel. And look at this, just one more hit, and he's going to be able to do it. But now, here we go, Aegis Reflector. What are you going to do? Tries to shimmy him,
boy.
gets him the second time
Mirror?
into Super. Got him. There it is. Okay, Nemo stays alive. Not quite out of this just yet. It was very close. Can he pull off a Kawano here and come all the way back?
That would be ideal, right? But look at the deficit he's currently at. We talked about meter management in the prior match, but Mizuha, look at this, get the big confirm flash knuckle into the rocket upper, but now there's going to be more damage. He could potentially get the stun. Oh,
No,
boy,
but this
not
is
yet.
actually better because now the throw is the stun and it's a guaranteed kill at this point for Mizuha, who is going to advance with a perfect over Nemo to go up against Kawano in top 8. Woo!
He loaded up pretty well on that one. He got that V-skill towards the end. That's done. You already knew when he was juicing up. It's like, ah! It was over. I felt the cries of joy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna be in top 8, baby. That was pretty cool. Mizuha taking it over Nemo with that Luke. Very, very surprising in the fact that Mizuha not having to show off that Colleen just yet. Maybe we'll see it in the Kawano match
In the mirror.
For the mirror.
Yeah. But I don't know. That Luke looks strong, and so far, if Japan thinks Luke is a strong character, they're showing exactly why. Both Yamaguchi and Mizuha using Luke to take down Fujimura and Nemo, respectively, showing the power that this character has. And like I said, I just felt like, you know, this character, the good range that he has, the ability to play that neutral footsies so effectively.
Right.
And there we go. We have our top 8. So those 4 players are done. Tokido, Yamaguchi will be our first match tomorrow, followed by Kawano and Mizuha. But now they are going to spend the entire next 24 hours studying their opponent. You know that Tokido and Kawano are going to be spending a lot of time labbing Luke and figuring out how to fight him.
Right. And then we're going to get into the big dance tomorrow again. But before that, we still have the rest of losers bracket to go through. Sakaguchi versus Hiroshi going to be coming up next. Sakaguchi using that Vega, Hiroshi with Seth and Bison on lock. And then we see, of course, Yosan versus Nishikin coming up afterwards. Shuto, Gachikun, and of course, Oitajun versus Itsuki.
And I'm assuming we're going by U.S. names. Sakaguchi with the claw and Hiroshi with Dictator, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, it could be Seth as well, so it really depends.
Right, yeah,
But
yeah,
for
of
the
course,
most part,
of course.
Sakaguchi coming in with that claw, that's going to be very interesting to see going up against Hiroshi, who I haven't seen personally.
I like Hiroshi. I mean, he should add Gil to his roster at this point, right?
All
if
the
he's using
bosses?
Seth Bison, yeah.
One of
Stick Gil.
the mysterious organizations could be like the Illuminati, Shadowloo, or SIN.
or
That'd be great
something,
for
yeah,
Hiroshi to have all 3 under his belt. Yeah.
Exactly. So Sakaguchi and Hiroshi coming up here. Let's see what the players have to say about their matchup coming up. Sakaguchi says, I didn't think I would make it this far, but my first opponent in top 16 is someone I work with. I will absolutely... Are these co-workers?
That's godlike.
Are they co-workers?
The fact that they met up in the same bracket is actually pretty damn cool. That's got to be an awkward conversation in the morning. But either way, it is the weekend, so who knows? I don't know if they're weekend warriors, but let's take a look at what Hiroshi had to say in response to his co-worker. Seth is an honest character.
I like it. Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I mean, he got nerfed. You know, he got nerfed a little bit, so not as strong.
I mean, his Trigger 2 is so much better.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Trigger 2 got buffed a lot.
So much better.
Yes.
Leaps and bounds better than what we saw.
I mean, I got to imagine on Monday, though, someone is going to be buying someone else lunch, you know? There's definitely going to be
running it back in the office.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be a very interesting interaction. But we're going to see how it unfolds here first, because this is the loser side, right? Going into 2 out of 3 territory. This is where The loser turns off their console. Essentially.
That sounds so brutal.
Or
they turn off your console.
Or they watch someone else's stream. Or go into ranked.
This is where they take their console and throw it into the trash, and
they'll put it in the closet for about a week or two. It's like, I don't want to use this thing.
Oh man, here we go, and it is going to be.
I'm gonna play Street Fighter 4 instead.
Claw versus Seth, and interesting costume choices here. I like this.
I feel like I have that hat somewhere. Sakaguchi again with the claw. Hiroshi with a very, very good character. Seth. Excellent.
Very honest character. Get that right.
Oh, honestly, look at this counter hit. Look at the damage that he gets. And off of that one from earlier, he got so much of a corner carry. Forward throw, EX, axe kick. Sakaguchi still stuck here. But Hiroshi, I thought he was going to let him go. Very nice.
Yep, got the anti-air. And so right now still has the corner. So going to use the V-trigger to get out of the corner. But he's got a lot of life to drain here. Now, Vega, early seasons, it would be like tough for him to make the comeback. Not as much anymore. Still can dish out the damage. Okay, here we go. Yeah, again, at that life lead right there, if you're Hiroshi, you will be taking the throw all day. Sakaguchi going for a shimmy right there did not work out.
Yes, Hekatonkaris. Man, he just did it wrong. Landing the roundhouse. You thought you had the day off. You're working overtime. I don't even know if they're actual co-workers. I feel like Hiroshi's the boss right now with the way he just played. Sakaguchi trying to complain to HR with that forward fierce.
You could just imagine on Monday, whoever wins this, they're going to take the stack of paper and dump it on the other person's desk and be like, you are doing this. Thank you. Thank you for taking my load while I go take an extra long lunch. And now waking up with the EX uppercut. Oh, no, that was definitely an execution error. Sakaguchi not going to spend any meter here, though, because look at this life lead that he has. Doesn't feel like he needs to spend any of it, but look at this, a crush counter, so not going to activate just yet. If it was blocked, he would activate.
We see here Sakaguchi trying to play the life lead game as well, just trying to occupy that space. Crouching medium punch does hit Hiroshi, but now it's going to be an interesting activation here.
Oh, just using the V-skill to get out of there.
And that was a fine assessment, too, from Sakaguchi, right? He was willing to take that risk, which wasn't really a big one, considering the fact that he had V-Trigger 1 locked and loaded. He was going to be just fine in escaping the corner. He was just looking for that escape option. It just so happened that Hiroshi got hit.
It's interesting that Sakaguchi is choosing to go clawless, Vega. Like, he just took off the claw right away, and he's going in this mode.
I would love to know the reasoning behind that. Maybe he's more comfortable in terms of like the speed, or at least the way he's poking, but
yeah,
I'm not too sure.
See, he put it away. He used it to, for combo purposes, and then immediately put it away again. Nice little whiff punish right there from Hiroshi. Has the corner position. Oh, that was slick. Oh, God, it's such a deceiving timing on that cancel. Close to stun.
He got the double stuff,
but he doesn't want the scale. He wanted the stun with a full damage combo afterwards.
Pretty smart too, because he didn't want to spend, he didn't want the scaling to be involved. EX Hekatonkaris. He's been doing that pretty often. A big counter hit.
Is he going to be able to kill off of this?
Oh, without a doubt.
There you go. Hiroshi taking game number 1.
What was the quote again? Seth is a what character? What's the adjective that he used?
I think he said fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced?
Fair and balanced,
That's one too many, I feel like. It's one or the other. I don't know.
Oh, man.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good sequence there from Hiroshi. I mean, throwing off Sakaguchi a couple of times with some of the choices he made. One of them being the neutral jump into stand roundhouse.
Right, dude.
That got me by surprise.
That was crazy. Like, normally you neutral jump and then you land with like a light punch or something to interrupt someone poking, but he went a heavy kick afterwards.
Nice. No fear.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now, Hiroshi's trying to show, Seth is trying to show Vega why Vega is a subordinate character and not the leader of an organization.
Dang. Maybe Hiroshi is Sakaguchi Sr. over at the company he works at.
I mean, maybe they work at Shadaloo. I don't know.
At this point, yeah, I'd imagine
so. It's the mysterious organization working a 9 to 5. Oh, man.
So far, Hiroshi doing great work against Sakaguchi, putting himself at match point. But man, I gotta say, these wild Hekatonkaris have been slightly Actually, he's only been punished once.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, so it's not too bad.
And it's not even that big of a punish, right? Because even though
Yeah.
Vega can do big damage, he needs like the specific setup combos, right? So, if dang, that cross-up hit far.
Yeah, that jump short kind of interrupted Hiroshi. I think he tried to interrupt with a standing medium punch. Or he tried to anti-air with a standing medium punch.
Oof. There's the ace right there, the heavy ace catching low. Now back to this neutral again. Oh, he chased down the V-skill.
Oh, he didn't get it confirmed, but he did prioritize the escape out of the corner, so Hiroshi was just trying to maneuver his way out, not really looking for a confirm. Oh, but there it is. He does get, no. It was pretty far.
Yeah.
It was pretty far. So it's understandable. Hiroshi not comfortable with that range.
Snuck in the dash. Oh, boy. Huge. Okay, this is good damage. As he builds up the super, he does. He gets it. Is this going to kill? This is...
Can it try? I'm going to say yes. Trigger. Yeah, he did trigger also because he does get the enhanced damage.
Right, exactly. So there you go. Hiroshi taking it 2-0 over Sakaguchi. Advancing in. Unfortunately, that does mean Sakaguchi is out of the tournament. He has to buy lunch on Monday. He has to do all of Hiroshi's work.
His PTO got denied also. that's the worst.
Dang.
Hiroshi definitely said, nope, you're going to be working overtime. Sorry, man. It's just, I don't make the rules. Oh, you know what'd be funny? I caught you playing in the CPT instead of working. That'd be pretty funny. He's like, I thought you were coming into the office on Saturday. What is who is this playing right now?
Oh man, I'm gonna need you to come into work.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
he just walks in with a Street Fighter mug.
Yeah. Oh man, oh poor Sakaguchi. In any case, Hiroshi is gonna be moving on, as you see over here in the brackets, and then coming up next, like I said, we've been talking about how we're kind of excited for this match over here because it's gonna be Yosan versus Nishikin. It's gonna be Juri versus Blanca, unless they pull out something weird on. Well, actually, let me say, unless they pull out something normal on us, we're gonna get Juri versus Blanca here, a matchup that. Can I even say I've seen this matchup happen in this game before?
I personally have not. Not enough, I feel like. I've only seen it probably once in my lifetime, to be quite honest.
You used to play Juri. Do you even remember fighting a Blanca at any point
The
in
only
time?
Blanca I've played was Alex Valle and Danka Diaz.
Okay,
That's literally
makes sense.
And Danka Diaz doesn't even main Blanca.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I can't speak from personal experience, but I can tell you what, Nishikin has been the blueprint for Blanca for as long as I can remember. And he's been rocking with this character ever since. As soon as this character came out, Nishikin has been more and more on the scene. If you haven't noticed, his progression with this character is phenomenal. Look at him already. Like, you haven't seen him in a top 16 scenario as consistently as right now, or even in Street Fighter League the way that he's been playing. But Blanca has been on the map because of someone like Nishikin for Japan.
Right, and it's kind of cool to see Nishikin here. I mean, just this past week, we did like some Jimmy Jam stuff where they had all the Blanca versus Blanca matchups and everything. So that was for a charity out there, and now Nishikin playing Blanca. So I'm prepared for the Blanca now. I've got all the Blanca. I got refreshed in my Blanca mind here. So
Yosan also has been one of those dominant Juri players that I've been watching online as well, or at least on YouTube. I've been checking a lot of his data, trying to mimic the way he plays. He is a very, very hard Juri to catch, but man, he's also very efficient in terms of his V-trigger usage too.
Okay.
He does lay down some of the mix-ups if he needs to. He will style on you, but when it comes to something like a CPT scenario, he will definitely be one of the hardest, most elusive Juris to catch. So we'll see how that plays out. Going into it, let's see what the players have to say to each other before the matchup starts. Yosan versus Nishikin. We have Nishikin coming in. I'm aiming for top 8 and will do my best.
And will do the opposite of my worst.
And won't get below top 16.
All right, so let's find out what Yosan has to say. I came to show Juri's potential.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. He wants to show off what Juri can do. So there you go. So he will do his best with Juri.
I mean, that's great to see, though.
I
came to show Juri's potential. That's something I'd love to see personally, because Juri has been one of those characters that it's so hard to, I feel like, to buff her and nerf her. Because I feel like she has such good potential. Like if you take that one step to buff her in a certain way, it's like, man, she could be really good. I don't know. I feel like she's so hard to play against in certain scenarios, but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's always a tricky thing because, she's a character who she has to charge up the Fuhajin in order to get some sort of strength out of those moves, right? And so a lot of times she has to make a decision whether she wants to keep the pressure or use that opportunity to charge up her moves. And that's just not something else that other characters have to think about a lot of the times, you know?
When I would play this character against some of my training partners, I think Rinch said it the best. He would say, this character is definitely one that will kill you with die by 1,000 cuts. Like by that phrase. This is the character that really needs to get all of her resources together to get that kind of output because she just doesn't have it in the bag outside of it.
Right. Well, we're going to get these two players going up against each other. So, you know, all of us can experience Juri versus Blanca for the first time ever as well.
I would say, you know, this is going to be pretty wild. The way that Nishikin has been using this Blanca, his adaptation ability has been, his adaptability, I should say. What am I saying? His adaptability in terms of like certain matchups that he's unfamiliar with is phenomenal.
Right.
We've seen it week in, week out. But we'll see how it turns out when it comes to someone like Juri.
And Yosan using one of the contest-winning costumes as well for Juri.
They got to do that more often, by the way.
Yeah, the street gangster kind of costume, I think it is.
I don't know. I've never roamed the streets of Japan, but I will take your word for it.
Oh, actually didn't make it over the fireball fast enough. So gonna get punished. Oh, no cross up there from Nishikin.
And you notice Yosan hasn't really charged up any of the kicks other than the fireball for one purpose, to move on forward. I love that.
That's the advantage of that fireball that Juri has, is it allows her to approach that way. Oh no, charges up two of them this time, but Nishikin gets in with the throw, activation time. And of course, has the V trigger too, so you're gonna have to watch out for those cross-ups, ball scenarios.
Oh, that's so sick!
UV shift the ball and punish.
Uppercut too slow. She actually might die.
Well, it's gonna be very close here.
Oh, now
no,
you are
sure
gonna die. Romancing Juri, not like this. Nishikin from the bushes.
So, you know, that's a situation where you try to EX uppercut and you're like, they never think I'd do it twice, you know, back to back. And so Yosan went for it again, and Nishikin's like, you're going to do that. Poor
to be
old
fair,
reliable Bart. Always doing EX uppercut.
He tried to anti-air initially.
Right,
so that doesn't
that's
really
true,
count,
that's true. That's what it was.
He had the right idea.
It's
so unfortunate. Old reliable Bart.
It was a predictable Bart, I think is what it was. Yeah, poor old predictable Bart. Oh, but look at this. Not going to be a problem for Yosan this time. All right. Showing the potential of Juri.
That was a pretty quick round. I mean, 67 or 67 seconds granted, but Yosan had a hefty amount of life just the man of him.
Started the round with just the EX blocker ball right away. Okay, gets the confirm.
Look at how much more damage Nishikin got off of the two low jabs with the blocker ball without using meter. In comparison to Juri, come on now.
I can definitely tell you were a Juri player in the past.
It's unfair, I tell you.
Well, you know what? Yosan's here trying to show us the potential, and he's in a good position right now. If he didn't miss that autocorrect DP that one time, he would have been already on the next game.
Oh,
he did it again!
The wake up DP. Here comes the activation off of the trigger. Checking the lows more so for the movement.
Yep,
the stutter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. EX up ball. He still has trigger left.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Okay, no more trigger now. No more trigger now. So you don't have to. Goodness, but it only clipped. But a good punish right there. And, you know, I don't blame Nishikin for trying to punish that on that situation. I mean, how often do you get to experience that situation? Get clipped by Juri's uppercut, quick rise, and it feels like you should be able to block. Blanca Ball is one of the fastest moves in the game, right?
I literally just said to myself, as if I were in the POV of the mains, of the character mains, right? Why does this happen is what I was saying. Like, Juri's uppercut didn't hit all the way.
Right.
And then Blanca wasn't able to punish on time.
Right.
I'm literally in that seat for those mains. It's like, why does this happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's rough.
You know, you know what the crazy thing is? If this was a matchup that these two played all the time, they probably would actually know the real answer of whether that was punishable or not. But this is, like, kind of new to them, too, potentially.
That is a fair assessment.
Oh, there's that autocorrect DP again, and the shimmy! Yosan getting a couple of shimmies now.
And it's so tough. Even after the medium kick, medium punch, it's a medium kick. If Blanca's caught crouching, if she doesn't have the medium kick charge, she won't get the max damage potential. It's so rough.
What the heck? You just did meaty Blanca Ball?
Great. Why not?
He's got the V trigger behind it to keep it safe, but here we go, activation. Should
not
be
gonna
able to kill.
Okay, it is going to kill. I was going to say, with the amount of scaling involved, man, I'm such a down player, dude. That was
Jury,
actually,
dude,
yeah,
I know, right?
I saw 2 of the roundhouse kicks coming in from triggered. I'm like, this is not getting killed. Like,
oh man,
boy.
you're starting to sound like me in Street Fighter 4 Cammy, dude.
I'm such a bitter old man now, James.
Now you see?
Oh boy,
I was just
kidding.
before your time.
Old man yells at the clouds. You were right the whole time,
Oh man, I'm telling you, this is how it works, man.
I apologize, Yo-san. I apologize. And the jury mains at home. All 3 of you.
Right? Oh. All right, just bouncing out of there with the V skill, but now here we go. Pressure,
yes.
catches him with the shimmy. Like I said, he's caught a few of these shimmies on Nishikin already. And you know what? I think he went for another one. He just didn't walk far enough away.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can't V-reversal that. You can't V-reversal that. Oh, tried to shimmy Yosan now, but Yosan being patient. Yeah, knows that okay, that one's negative.
Oh boy.
Was that negative? Did he do the light ball? I thought that was the heavy ball. I might have saw wrong. But the V shift afterwards, getting Yosan out of there. Oh, that should be able to kill. No V trigger. Oh boy, one hit for either player.
That's so rough. Yosan is just big chilling too. There's nothing really Nishikin can do to kind of chip him out. He has to get something sneaky in there. A single touch. Oh my God! You're gonna dash up, you madman! Oh, that just blew out my throat a little bit. Jesus! This guy Yosan with the audacity to just dash up in your face like that.
And it's going to work. But, I mean, the nice thing is he dashed up, hit the light punch, caught him by surprise, and might not have been in range for light into special, right? Which is a lot of characters.
Of course not.
Right, because it's Jury, right? Because Jury is just like absolute garbage character, right?
What?
So,
no, she's a great character. It's just I wish she had more.
Like the light punch hit, and so what happened is Nishikin was like, oh my, I hope I can block the next light punch. And then instead, Yosan went hit and then just walk up and throw instead. So nicely done.
Oh,
Yosan is going to move on, and Nishikin, unfortunately, is out of the tournament, so no more Blanca. Yeah, this is the situation right here with the EX. Oh, no, we're not going to see the EXDP. Okay. That was the one that was blocked and gave Nishikin that round.
Yeah, I mean, how do you really highlight this? There were so many instances where Nishikin had such great moments, and then same with Yosan, too. And we can see Nishikin again.
Just that meaty block.
That was so slick. I mean, why not, right? He had triggered it back up.
Right, exactly.
And then this is the moment. That's just unfair.
Yeah.
Yosan just sneaking in there. Utilizing Jury's speed overall has been pretty great, trying to show off that potential. But again, you see Yosan, eliminating Nishikin 2-0. Now has to face off against Kudo. That's
going to be a fun one right there. Jury versus Luke, potentially.
No, Jury versus Chun-Li.
Ah, Chun-Li. That's right. That's right.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Wrong character. Okay.
Yeah. We have gone through a little bit, just about half of the losers bracket. Obviously, you can see there before your very eyes. Shuto and Gotchkun is going to be coming up a little bit afterwards. But before we get into it again, we do want to highlight some of the things that have been going on throughout the entirety of the month, right? PlayStation has been doing a great job throwing out all of the Open Series tournaments for a good majority of the fighting game community. One of those games being Street Fighter V. If you guys want to get involved into the fighting game community, this is one of the best times to do so, especially with the PlayStation Tournaments Open Series. Head on over to compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation Tournaments and find more Street Fighter V action.
And as we've seen it in a couple of the ring stages over there, you've been seeing the logos for Street Fighter Duel. That is the Capcom authorized mobile game, Street Fighter Duel, now available for download in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. Other regions are also coming soon. Keep a lookout for more news on the global release and get ready to join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter in the world.
And we're getting closer and closer to that, as you so eloquently put it, and in a very aggressive tone. I do like that. That's nice. In the world. But first, we're going to get through Japan, right? We're going to get through the rest of the loser bracket when we return from the short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Street Fighter V action.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. Alright, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
So, you really want to go through the trouble? Fine. All clear! Easy mode too much? Sucks to be you. I'm always ready for a fight. Let's go! Fear my strength! Have a taste of this! Don't take this personal! I'll show no mercy! This is for my fellow hunters!
It's day one here of the top 16/top 8 for Japan number 4, the final Capcom Pro Tour event for the 2021 season. And we are halfway through the losers bracket right now. We've got 2 more matches to go, and we've been seeing some good stuff so far.
Oh, good stuff is an understatement, James. We've seen so much. Let's take a look at the bracket and see exactly what we've gone through so far. If you had missed it up until this point, best believe we have the VODs on deck no matter where you're viewing it from. You got to check it out. We see the loser's side initially, right? Sakaguchi falling short to Peroshi, right? He's going to be sent into the overtime part of the tournament, which is pretty much working and no longer playing the game as our co-workers. Yosan just eliminated Nishikin 2-0 as well. We're getting geared up, ready to go for Shuto versus Gachikun. And Gachikun's route was a very interesting one at that. We talked about Bonchan not being anywhere near the top 16 because of the fact that Gachikun was the one that eliminated him from the tournament.
And he was, speaking of Bonchan, of course, you know, Evo champion Bonchan, he went down in the very first round.
Oh my
and,
God.
And had to fight his way through the losers bracket. Couldn't manage to make it out, and as we said, fell to Gachikun again. You know, no Bonchan. I'm not sure what Fudo's fate was in this tournament. Did he enter or did he not enter? He did enter. Oh, did not enter.
Okay.
Oh, Fudo just did not enter. Okay. I mean, you know, he's in the newly minted fatherhood, you know, section. Maybe.
Yeah, there has to be a time of like cooldown before you actually get the full power up. Right?
Exactly,
So, yeah, there's a
exactly.
cooldown. I mean,
So-
Bonchan's been experiencing that himself. He's been doing pretty well for himself.
That's right.
At
Yeah,
Street Fighter
that's
League, just
true.
overall, just getting back into the swing of things. But the fact is, right now, he was not able to get past the gate of Gachikun. Right
Yeah.
now. He's also in that kind of family mode too, or he's getting there.
Gachikun as
feel
well?
like he is,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I mean, at
Maybe
this,
I'm wrong, but he's at least married, so you know.
yeah, I mean, he's a former Capcom Cup champ, using that money to help buy a house for his family and such.
That's
So
correct,
it's
yeah.
very, very cool.
Yeah, so as it stands right now, Shuto is also one of those characters, one of those players, I should say, that has been getting a lot of love from last year with the way that he's been playing this Urien, but as of late, he's fallen just short by the wayside. I feel like, in my opinion, he hasn't been able to get back into the swing of things against the rest of Japan, but we'll see. Again, he's made it into top 16. You can't really say that he's really fallen off in total because he's gotten to top 16, which is going to be a pretty huge deal in Japan number 4.
When you say rest of Japan, like, I mean, God, that is a powerful area right there.
The best
It's
area.
hard to stand out, you know, versus the rest of Japan. You can't. There is no player in Japan, even as much as of a big fan. I mean, even if you cannot doubt the GOAT, Daigo Umehara, I don't think there's a single Japanese player that you could pick to win a tournament over the field. Like,
That's
it's impossible, I think.
I'm also even breaking it down from the perspective of the Urien selection that we have. Now that
okay.
Tokido has taken the helm of Urien players, I feel like he's one of the top right now.
Right.
In comparison to Nemo, who also didn't make it into top 8 right now. He's in
So
the bottom.
far,
He's
so
waiting
far,
into
yeah.
top 16 so far. Right. So again, you're taking a look at that, like Shuto in comparison to other players like Ryusei as well. Another Urien player that should be highlighted, who's also not in the top 16. Right. It could be anyone's game. The most consistent Urien player now is Tokido.
Yeah.
What timeline is this, man?
Right.
But let's get into the matches right now. Shuto versus Gachikun. Let's take a look at the player quotes before we get into the matchup. We could see Gachikun starting off with, "I think I'm pretty strong right now, so I can win it all. Wish me well."
Okay, all right. And showing a little bit of confidence right there, Gachikun. Let's see what Shuto has to say. Shuto says, "I had some delicious kimchi nabe yesterday at Fudo's house, so I think I can win."
That is a beast power-up. That sounds really good.
Dude, you're just going and hanging out with Fudo like this? I mean, dude, that's crazy.
Why not? Why not?
And getting some kimchi out there, too? Man.
I hope he's playing from Fudo's house.
See, like
That'd be pretty sick.
this all just makes me think like all these Japanese players are just hanging out with each other all the time, you know? I mean, what is it, like SoCal FGC, you know?
Probably, man. There's going to be a new coalition of Japanese youngins, and it's starting off with Fudo's house. I don't know. I mean, like, that's how it starts off.
I've
really,
seen
I feel like.
I've seen the photos of you in the Christmas sweaters and everything like that, you know?
We were definitely in that house. But I'll tell you what, you get to see a lot of these players kind of being cultivated from the old guards as well. Just that quote off itself, right? You talk about like shinobiism being one of the key factors of this conversation, right? You talk about Momochi housing all of these young players,
Right.
and cultivating them into top Street Fighter V players,
Right.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, as much as, I kind of talked about like Tokido, saying like, oh, does he think he's at my, like it sounds like they're kind of like trash talking, but really, honestly, they are very interested in building up the next generation of players as well. So as much as the veterans don't want to be the first notch on any youngin's belt, they're still very interested and happy to see players grow and get stronger.
Yeah.
Well, in this situation, Gachikun, definitely a veteran here. As I mentioned, a former Capcom Cup champion. That's why he's got his own Gachikun costume that he's running right now.
The most popular costume in Japan, quote unquote, from Gachikun himself.
I was like, Gachikun's like, everyone plays it, and the other players are like, nobody plays it.
Not just you, man.
Oh, man, but right now, at least staves off the stun, gets a throw, but that's going to be too close for anything except the crouching light kick.
And I love it. Gachikun is willing to take that throw the entire time because it's not going to put him at a deficit. Even after this throw, but there's going to be a second mirror. He can't take another one, but he does so. That's where the life lead changes.
Yeah.
Keeps
Now
it-
you got to start to worry at this point. But that's why Gachikun, just look how patient he's been. And finally does something and then gets the activation and the connecting as well.
Swapping away.
Okay, plus frames, gets the throw.
And that was such a meaty crouching heavy punch. It's so dangerous. Gachikun does have full critical art, just a little bit of trigger left. And of course, the crouching light kick hit from so far away so that it interrupted Shuto and then immediately firing with the crouching heavy punch. That is Rashid.
Yeah,
that is Rashid.
The crouching light kick from Rashid has been ridiculous since season 1.
He was the most consistent character that could get 3 low shorts and still hit. Sure, it's not available in this season, but you see how far it still is.
It's still huge range, and especially the fact that he has more of a run than a dash, you know, makes it a little bit even harder because he can kind of sneak in there with buttons just like that. Okay, yeah, and of course he's going to roll forward just to get the plus frames and also to escape any potential forward jumps.
Which is going to be great for Shuto. Does get himself out of the corner, but now he's trying to counter-poke his way into Gachikun. Oh boy, big trade-off.
Trade. I mean, we saw how patient Gachikun was last time he was in the corner, so getting him into the corner doesn't necessarily mean anything, you know, isn't necessarily a guarantee that Gachikun is going to panic and get opened up.
Oh. It's been so dangerous right now.
There's so
for
much
Shuto.
resources.
Oh,
No,
he
too
didn't get
far
enough
away.
of a charge either, I feel like.
Yeah,
Could've
but
been
both players right now sitting on like maximum resources.
Do you see the reluctancy for Gachikun to hit Shuto? Because if he does, he's going to get the trigger. But there he goes.
Oh, he just did it.
I love it.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow, yeah. But
Take that risk, young man.
there's that call out again. Like, you know that the opponent needs to make the comeback. You know that, oh, I've activated my V trigger. Time to go in and do the pressure. So that is the time that you throw out the EX.
Oh, no.
Speaking of the wake up EX.
Do it again.
Don't do it again.
Oh, it would have worked.
It would have worked.
And now you find yourself pretty much near death. EX Buster. Actual death. Excuse me. I always forget how much damage EX Metallic Sphere does.
Yeah, Urian he's one of those characters that once he gets you in the corner, you're like, shouldn't scaling be kicking in at this point?
Nope.
But he's just like, EX this, EX that, EX everything, and you die.
It's so funny. I still call Metallic Sphere in the back of my mind. I still call it Mega Buster because of the pose. I still call it Mega Buster, but either way,
funny.
they should have given him the Mega Man outfit. IMO.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But I mean, he's the villain. You can't put the hero
been
costume on the villain.
It could have been Proto Man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Like a pseudo villain. But either way, Gachikun as Airman. I'm totally kidding. Making away with it. You gave the good guy the villain outfit. What do you mean?
True. That's true. You did. They did.
Oh boy.
Ugh. I just want to know what character they would give the Heat Man costume to.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right. Gachikun here, looking good this round. He's down 1 game to Shuto. So again, we're seeing a lot of the younger players here doing really, really well. Oh, but that's God, you know, like, this character, Rashid, has just had some of the best normals since season 1, man. The crouching heavy punch, standing medium punch, standing medium kick. They're all so good. Crouching light kick we talked about.
Every one of his normals are fantastic.
Crouching medium kick, they're all so good. Oh, standing heavy kick.
Sure, and like, you know, Shuto also kind of has the same in his arsenal, just not as effective. Well, we're talking about the range, it's very good.
Right.
Going into trigger, low medium kick, very good. But it's not cancelable just like that. You see the neutral jump, low.
What
the
a
catch
down from the jump. That was beautiful. And it's a little bit of an OS, right? Because if you go for the throw, you're going to try to hold up forward. But if you throw them, you have like 10 years to react that you threw them and no problem. So you always assume they're going to miss. Oh, he tried. Oh, what a patience there from Shuto not reacting to that.
Activation time.
Yep, and found the gap to jump away. Yep.
Gachikun making the right reads. The right decision making on defense.
Oh, that's going to hurt. Look at this, and he has the life lead now. What a throw tech from Gachikun.
Oh, that's so dangerous. I pressed the button as soon as he gassed up, and Shuto still getting... Oh, he tried to counter-poke his way through, but got screwed with a giant whiff punish from the Fierce.
Did I not talk about his great normal? You gotta have fear. Like, can you imagine if you gave like Cammy's crouching heavy punch or Chun-Li's standing heavy punch the ability to cancel into a special move like that? Like, that's how good that standing heavy punch from Rashid is, man. Like, that's
pretty good.
That's nice. That's
nice.
a nice.
It's a nice thing to have. Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh man, gonna juggle? No, missed it. Doesn't matter. It's not gonna be. Well, never mind. Here comes Shuto with the throw, trying to put Gotcha-kun back into the corner, but Gotcha-kun fighting his way back to the center of the stage.
Swinging away with the crouching heavy punch with no regards, right? Shuto hasn't found himself. Yeah,
had the timing for that. And now he is trapped in the corner. Can Shuto bust his way out of here?
Man, you can counter all of the mediums that Urien has with just one button. It feels so good. It's so good.
Okay.
I like that.
What?
He tried to go for a throw tap. Yeah, he went for the roundhouse, yeah.
You blocked the cross up and you did crouching heavy punch? That's your reaction? Nice combo there from Gotcha-kun. Definitely is going to be a player that's going to be able to maximize the damage.
That the play before the final blow from Shuto was a phenomenal read, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on dumb with that. That was really, really something else. I hope we highlight that. EX knee drop. We haven't seen that in a while.
Oh no, getting thrown on their wake up. That always feels bad.
Ooh, I like that. The whiff punish from medium punch. Oh, still Gotcha-kun. Just relentless.
No.
Unwavering.
And now just pestering with that crouching heavy punch. And using the V-break offensively to keep the pressure. I love that decision. Both of these players have been going for a lot of shimmies. I don't think either of them have been able to successfully land one. Both of these players being very patient with their throw reactions. Again, you cannot react and tech a throw. It has to be a prediction. Oh, is that a punish? No.
No, not quite.
What a throw tech.
Oh boy, Gotcha-kun just chopping down at Shuto's health
It's like
little
I
by
said,
little.
It's so crazy that they've actually. Oh, you're dead. Yep, the non-maxed out version. Don't hit all the buttons. Come drop down and cancel into a super, and there you go. Gotcha-kun moves on in the loser side of the bracket, and Shuto is unfortunately out of the tournament now, and will be putting the console away.
Maybe he'll turn on his stream and maybe he'll play some ranked.
Because I mean, like, we used to always say, like, oh, unfortunately, he's going home now. We can't say that anymore. So I think
not bad.
Putting the console into the closet is
he actually can go home now if he was hanging out with Fudo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We're bullies, man. I will say, Shuto.
Go say hi to, just go and carry and rock Fudo's baby. Uncle Shuto can hang out with Fudo's kid.
That's always a feels good, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
as it stands right now, Gotcha-kun still moving on. We can see the replay and how it transpired, right? The stun in full effect, man. That trade-off was phenomenal. You love to see that anytime a Urien player gets a trade-off of crouching heavy punch.
And God, I swear, Urien always gets so much damage off of his crouch counter heavy punch. And there was right there.
It was so good looking.
Yeah, he knew he was going to go for the heavy kick into the... See, that was a sick combo. The heavy kick into the V-trigger activation. He called that out, and so he was able just to throw out that crouching heavy punch. That is a call out, man.
I felt like shades of JB on that play.
Oh,
that would have been cool. For some reason, it went up in my mind. The Hamburger. As soon as he gets the jump and then the cross up, the block cross up, and then the roundhouse to catch any sort of delayed throw tech into trigger, that would have been all shenanigans. But Gotcha-kun didn't have to rely on that too much, or at least luckily he didn't hit. But either way, still taking it down over Shuto. Now he has to face off against Fujimura. Before we get into that, even that part of the bracket, we have Oitajun versus Itsuki coming up next. Uita Jun with that Chun-Li. Itsuki, one of the premier Dalsums in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, and this is a character that has been on everybody's mind recently. You know, with the success of Mr. Crimson in Europe, and then of course, you know, Arturo doing work with Dalsum, and of course Itsuki now. I mean, he's been doing well all the last couple of years. Him and YHC Mochi, strongest Dalsums in Japan. But this character, people have been talking about Dalsum a lot. You know, V-Shift has helped him so much. You know, that he's been able to get around the nerfs to, you know, the light punch anti-airs and
not being able to float as much with V-Skill, right? You are susceptible in the air now. Which it takes away a big component of his gameplay.
But you know, if that's the thing, these Dalsums are so good that even
These
when they're
Dalsum
floating,
players,
like you can't hit them. They're so good at teleporting and moving and getting away and everything. I mean, it's like I always compared him to MVC2 Sentinel practically, you know, like because he's just like flying around.
Yeah, that's what it felt like actually. Anybody with like unfly potential, that's what exactly what Dalsum felt like with V-Skill 1, but they did tune it down significantly. So, but other than that, other than those obstacles, Dalsum players seem to prevail every single time. He's one of those characters that are very hard to nerf properly.
The trickiest thing about Dalsum right now is not only is he considered a zoner and he has the ability to zone you, but this guy is also one of the stronger Rushdown characters at this point in time.
If you get the right spacing, you get that full sequence of EX Yoga fires into a ton of damage off his slides. It's so nice. I wish we could see that. But either way, let's take a look at the quotes first. Maybe we'll catch a whiff of that, just a little bit, but we'll see how it goes down with Itsuki saying, I am YHC Itsuki.
Okay, so he's good. So I've seen it set called Itsukik and Itsuki both. But if he's saying I am YHC, and remember Mochi, he's YHC Mochi, so he's YHC Itsukik. Okay, all right, we'll go with that then. And let's see what
one.
Uita Jun. I'll keep winning as much as I can.
Straightforward.
Yeah, very straightforward. And
I will do my best. That's what you were asking for, right?
That's right. A different way to say it. There you go. And so I will keep doing the opposite of losing as much as I can. So
this is a matchup we've seen a handful of times in every single season. Chun-Li versus Dalsum. I feel like no matter what, I think there's going to be this matchup kind of going on. Now that I think about it, I feel like we didn't see it as much last season.
Yeah. Not as much last season, but
never mind.
I mean, Chun-Li, it's always going to be a tricky thing. Like, she's got that standing heavy kick, which covers a lot of aerial space. So, you know, that might cause Dalsum a little bit of consternation. But like I said, the way that the Dalsum players have been maneuvering this character in Street Fighter V, it's like, I feel like you could... Controlling that space is like so hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. So we'll see how well Uita Jun can try to keep Dalsum grounded.
Sure.
And use those normals to try to keep him out of the air.
We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I like that. The classic outfit from Dalsum.
Yeah, all the Dalsum players always use the classic Dalsum. It's funny. All living in the past. Got to embrace the future, man. Whoa, nice air throw.
That is a classic counter to the teleport. You see the Yoga Fire still.
Yeah, I know, right?
I thought we were about to see a death combo.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if that fireball could actually still hit. And this, again, one of the key things about Dalsum players, too, is the ability to aim that drill. It's not as, you know, powerful as it was, like, say, in Super Turbo, but the way that they aim that drill, it's so hard to challenge it.
A little bit of a nuisance, yeah. I mean, trying to throw out like a light kick to intercept it, possibly. I know certain characters can get away with that pretty consistently, and that is a classic right there. The whiff punish off of the Fierce, a decent amount of recovery for you to actually hit the lingering hurt box. Very smart decision making from Uita Jun in terms of the spacing overall.
All right, pushing him back to the corner right now. Uita Jun not going to press too badly. Gets back over there. Tried to use it towards medium punch to clear him out of there. Oh, and there's the back heavy punch as well. Can really blow up the stand medium punch and stand medium kick because of the priority system.
That was a counter hit off a forward medium punch. He actually could have gone into EX lightning legs.
Oh,
I see, said the commentator.
Yeah. June showing Kudo. Look, see, use it when it's about to kill them. Use the combo when it's about to kill them.
And then he put Itsukick in a very awkward situation with the 50-50, either a, I guess 50-50, right? Either a low, either a throw, or an overhead.
Yeah, I mean, when you're take the throw is a meme for a reason, right? Because it's the right choice. But when you're gonna die, that's not an option anymore. And then, it's one of those like impossible to win situations. And if you can escape that, then more power to you.
Oh.
Yeah, Uitajun looking really strong right now.
He's making all the right decisions, too. Oh, look at the counter poke game. He's calling out Itsukick so many times. He's got to go into something else other than roundhouse.
Yeah, because that's it. Well, I don't even think that was heavy kick. I think that might have been standing medium kick. I didn't see which button it was. But the reason why that back heavy punch is so good is because, like I said, the priority system. Medium kick and medium punch cannot trade with back heavy punch. There is no trade possible. The priority system will make it so that the back heavy punch wins every single time.
I think it might have been the startup or like the little bits of roundhouse because it looked like he spun around.
Okay. I didn't catch it. Oh, what? Caught him on the ground, and that's going to be this round. And Uitajun right now kind of just barreling right through Itsukick.
And it's so tough right now. Itsukick has not found the right ranges or the right buttons because Uitajun has been pretty wild in terms of like the counter poke game. So I think Itsukick is trying to play a second, either that or get into the ranges where he knows the normal is going to hit.
Right. And again, you know, I talked about Dawson trying to be in the air a lot.
It is.
Oh yeah, there was the heavy kick right there. But Uitajun has done such a good job keeping Itsukick from the sky. Whether just by jumping at him or, you know, throwing out some of those normals and covering the space again.
Oh, again, another counter.
Yeah.
Maybe it was too far. Like, I think that's too far of a range to actually get into EX Lightning Legs.
Yeah, like you said, though, it is safe on block, so, you know. Okay, yeah, you're going to get a juggle into the fire.
Pick it up just a little bit.
Oh,
man,
no!
he was just trying to find a way through
Yeah.
activation. That's unfortunate for Itsukick.
Now one hit in the super is going to be able to end the game. It's got to be careful now. Oh, he challenged! And he didn't go into the super off of that flame. Maybe thought it was at the range where the super missed. We've seen that before.
No, I think that would have hit. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that would have hit. But Itsukick, again, just trying to save that meter. There's a little bit of greed, but it paid off. Not too bad.
Crouching light punch with punish there. You saw from full screen.
Oh. That could have been into critical art. Uitajun opting not to use it. Again, he wants to have the presence of mind to be more of a threat with that critical art, or at least the EX meter. You see Itsukick just trying to keep Uitajun away. The heavy punch does check down below. Medium punches stop the advancement for Uitajun, just occupying that space so well. Not a lot of the counter pokes have been coming out from Uitajun this round.
He's got himself a hit in those little frame traps that Uitajun has been doing. Is this gonna leak? I think it is. Yes. Okay. Gonna drain him down to basically no life. Itsukick needs the fight for his life, and the throw is gonna do it. And Uitajun running through Itsukick, and wow, that was a dominant performance right there by Uitajun.
That was straight up the way that he wanted to play it. Like, there was just nothing about the Dawson that kind of halted the strategy that Uitajun wanted to implement, right? In the beginning, it was more of Itsukick trying to catch up to what Uitajun was doing rather than setting the pace, which is normally what we see from Dawson players, being able to set the tone with their normals, with their fireballs as well, and just with the maneuver, the kind of way that Dawson gets to move around the stage, mostly with V-Skill 1.
And I just feel like right now all the anti-Dawson people out there just booted up their machine. They're all trying to learn some Chun-Li right now because that looked very effective. And yeah, unfortunately,
actually, I would say if I was a Dawson player, I would have been like, see, he's not top tier.
right? No,
I just lost to
that's
Chun-Li, or he just lost to Chun-Li.
That's 100% what they're saying out there, right?
It's true. It's true.
No. Oh man, poor Dawson players.
Not at all. What do you mean? Not at all. What are you talking about? Going into the next matchup, let's take a look at the bracket. Where are we at?
Hey, look, the happiest person right now, I'm going to tell you right now, is Kichipop. Because he did not want to fight Dalsum next round. He definitely did not want to fight Dalsum next round. So he's definitely happy to see going up against Oita Jun instead. But yeah, we have our first round of the losers bracket done and completed here. Puroshi and Yosan and Gachikun and Oita Jun all moving on against their respective opponents. But now having to go up against these players who got sent down here from the winner side of the bracket. And we're going to be starting with Nemo going up against Puroshi. And that's the match we're going to see on stream coming up next.
That's going to be pretty interesting to watch because, again, it's going to be the loser's side. The player who loses pretty much gets eliminated. Nemo with that Urian, he was not able to take down Mizuha's Luke. Does get another chance at life against Puroshi, who's taking the PTO of his fellow coworker, Sakaguchi. He gets more vacation time, does not have to worry about any sort of lunch for the rest of the week, and he gets to go in front of the CEO. He's like, hey, you know the dude that's been wasting time on his hobby? I happen to beat him.
Hey, but you know what? Remember, before getting sponsored, Nemo was known as the business guy, right? The businessman. And now he's like, you know what? I've already ascended past this situation here. Yeah. I am more powerful than ever.
He is an alternate universe salary man.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Goes for the throw after the chariot tackle, and now to the corner. Again, oh, look at that. The counter hit. Perfect distance to Link after chariot tackle. And look at the damage. It's just like I said, this character just like dishes out damage in the corner.
The difference between Nemo right now and the way he was playing in the game prior is night and day, I feel.
Yeah, well, here we go. Puroshi with an opportunity here. Gonna get the double dash after the towards medium punch. Oh, good. Confirm. But the armor.
It doesn't matter. With V-Skill 1 charged up, he is using the armor to get past whatever Puroshi tried to throw out there. He was looking for an activation.
Man, I did not even notice that he was using the V-Skill 1 until just then.
And then you have the double twos down below with Puroshi.
That's right. We saw Puroshi going with V-Trigger 1 in the previous match, but now going with V-Trigger 2, but has not had a chance to activate anything. Look at this damage.
Oh, no!
What? Oh, here, speaking of, here we go. No V-reversal. And actually, you can't even V-reversal it anymore. Gets out of there with the knees. Beautiful decision by Nemo. But look at this.
Big counter hit.
And now one hit in the super will tie this up. Ooh.
The punish!
Goes with the EX, and yeah, on block, no confirm, and so gets punished, and Nemo quickly taking game number 1.
That was unfortunate for Puroshi, actually. A little bit too far off, or just mistimed it. But either way, Nemo, he was just trying to get his vest back, man. He was just popping out of that suit. But I'll tell you what, the way that he was playing in comparison to what he was doing in the winter side, night and day.
Yeah.
He was so much more aggressive.
But I mean, like I said, I feel like that has a lot to do with Luke the character, right? I mean, perhaps just really kind of flummoxing Nemo Urian with the range that Luke has. I mean, we saw a lot of those times the standing medium kicks just interrupted whatever it was that he was trying to do. Now,
and occupying the space with the fireballs too.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm saying like it sounds like we're going to lobby here. Perhaps a character change. Perhaps a Dictator and M. Bison coming into the mix.
Possibly. Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be a matchup that's been kind of cumbersome for Nemo. I feel like in his matchups in the Street Fighter League when he had to play off against some of the Dictators, he did not really get himself a chance to take down any of them. I feel like Dogura got the best of him a good amount of times. Like he was like the main one.
Look at this. He's sticking with the same character. Okay. So no change here. Oh, well, let's take a look at the skill and the trigger. Remember, he was 2-2 last time. So might have been, no, he's still 2-2. Okay.
He's changing it to the dojo is what it is.
Maybe he was thinking about the switch, but then changed his mind.
Oh, that trade combo was nice.
Sick. That is awareness right there.
Just about to get the stun yet again. Puroshi trying to fight for his life out here, using the V-Trigger 2, bringing him back.
Yes! Got the cross-up. No! Too far away!
He could have just gone straight into Fierce. He didn't use crouching medium punch.
That's strange because that's the common setup right there. So you think that that distance it would be known on what reached or not. I'm not sure what variance happened there that made it too far away for him.
Nah, he's in that sequence when it hits. All you have to do is just press standing heavy punch. At that range, because it moves Seth so far forward, you're able to continue the combo. But he opted to go for a little bit more damage potentially with crouching medium punch into the target combo.
Well, got it there, and now gonna send Nemo to the corner. So this is a good opportunity now for Puroshi. Gonna activate. Here we go. Yeah, you gotta watch out. Oh, he didn't get the explosion to connect. Okay, but the EX uppercut gets him out of there, but then waking up with the anti-air Nemo.
What a punish on the V skill. He doesn't even get it back. And I like that from Hiroshi, using a very safe media, crouching light punch, baiting Nemo into the EX headbutt, finding himself the second round. Hiroshi showing off his knowledge of the matchup. That is pretty much basic knowledge, but still utilizing it. Nemo susceptible to said strategy.
Yeah, don't forget too, I think it was Momochi was the one who was using crouching heavy kick meaty against Urien. It just dodges the headbutt, but look at this. He damage again in the corner. You got to deal with this. And the shimmy again. Take the throw, but when you have no life left to take any damage, we see this happen, especially in the Japan tournaments. I feel like the shimmy always finishing off the round.
It's different when it comes to. I feel like if it's a player that Nemo hasn't really had too much experience with, he'll go with the most offensive route possible. And it's kind of funny too. We kind of mentioned it earlier. You know, Nemo not being in the top 8 from the winner side. You mentioned it not yet because of his certain route.
Yeah.
Nemo finding himself in that position as we look at the bracket again, taking care of Hiroshi 2-0 in a very aggressive manner. We saw shades of Seth in the later part of that sequence, but Hiroshi just not able to take the momentum away from Nemo. It's just so difficult to. I think majority of the matches were spent on the right side of the stages because of the fact that Nemo was relentless on offense.
Yeah, so Hiroshi there putting up a pretty decent fight, but Nemo gonna take it. Here's that reset. See, that was a beautiful punish right there.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
See, it was the heavy
kick.
kick. Okay, it was the crouching heavy kick. Yeah, that I was mentioning. That was the Momochi. Very first time when Seth came out, he kept doing crouching heavy kick as a meaty against, I forgot which Urien it was. And we were always like, wow, he's just going for this. And then someone tested it afterwards and noticed that the EX headbutt just goes right over it. And so there was that example right there, the character matchup knowledge. But as you see, Nemo is our first player on the loser side to qualify the top 8. Who's going to be next? Is it going to be Kudo or Yosan? But that will be taking place in just a little bit. Before we get there, we want to remind you guys, if you guys are enjoying the CPT and you guys are having fun, don't forget there is also the Capcom Pro Tour theme song by PKCZ. Bringing back the old Indestructible again, and shout outs to them. So for more details, check out the link below that you see on your screen right now.
And we've done so many activations with PlayStation tournaments with the Open Series. Again, we want to remind you all to head up compete.playstation.com for your chance to face off against some of the other players in the fighting game community, as well as make some new friends, make some new rivals, and just overall enjoy the game of Street Fighter V in a tournament setting. Again, it's compete.playstation.com with the PlayStation Open Series tournaments going on pretty much every single weekend for a variety of fighting games. But again, Street Fighter V, it's a great way to get into it right now. Especially this season, especially with the characters in the way that they are and the way that they are currently.
Yeah, and also, I don't know, do you know anything about Street Fighter League?
I've heard about it a good amount of times. I've taken a tour of the studio a bunch. I've been able to sit in the commentator's desk.
Okay. So you do know of its existence and stuff.
Oh,
right?
I absolutely do. It's where you can find some of the best Street Fighter V around.
I dare you to find me some
Tasty
better.
Steve every single Thursday implores you all to find him better Street Fighter V. He dares you. And this season, of course, is some of the best in the world of Street Fighter V. You can check out Season 4 in its entirety every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Domestic Time over on the Capcom Fighters channel on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitch. Again, we are winding down to the finale of the season. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, it's already up on YouTube as well. If you want to check out the VODs, you could definitely find it over on Twitch, as well as checking it out on Facebook. Again, Capcom Fighters is where you need to go to check out all the Street Fighter League action.
And you're also helping out with all the Japanese ones as well, right? The Japanese broadcast. You're doing the official English streams of those, the restreams of those as well. So check out that as well. So if you love Jeremy as much as I do, watch some Street Fighter League, both US and Japan, to see as much Jeremy as possible.
No, we're here for the Street Fighter V, baby. You already know what it is. When we see the Japan region...
I'm not.
Okay, I appreciate it, James. Social distancing. But I'll tell you what, we're going to return with more Street Fighter V action after this short break. I'm going to take a quick breather because it's been an absolute lovely time here with you all, especially with James. We'll come back with more Street Fighter V after this.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up. fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
If I go too far, please forgive me. Job well done. Yay me!
Lock and loaded, it's time for war.
Can't start a show without the star.
This is the path of my destiny.
Come on, let's turn up the heat. About time to finish this.
See what I'm really made of.
I'll show you.
How do you like this?
It's time for war.
That is the truth of what you must seek.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final Capcom Pro Tour of 2021. I know you're all here to see Jeremy, but I am here as well.
What are you talking about, James?
Come on, chat. You know, right? You know.
It's about Street Fighter
Okay,
V and the
fine,
collective community,
fine,
baby.
fine.
We're here for the Capcom Pro Tour, right? Not the bald-headed shenanigans that go on every so often. But I'll tell you
man.
what, guys, it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to cast all throughout the entirety of the
yeah.
CPT.
Oh,
Not only
yeah.
James, but with you all as well. Again, this is the final moment before we get into the season finale. We're here to see who's going to join the ranks for Japan and the rest of the world, right? So far, we've had Mago, Higuchi, and Daigo. We're going to see who fills in that fourth slot in our final qualifier of the year. It is 2022 in the blink of an eye. It's been...
What is time?
Came and gone so quickly.
Yeah,
But
I mean, so far right now, Tokido, Yamaguchi, Kawano, Mizuha, and Nemo are the players that are poised in position to play tomorrow. We'll be starting at the same time as we started today, and you won't want to miss that. But to join Mago, Higuchi, and Daigo. And right now we're going to find out if Yosan, Kudo, Gachikun, Fujimura, Uita Jun, or Kichipa are also going to join in that potential for the top 8 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be shaking up pretty significantly, I feel like, in terms of the loser side, right? We have some names that we haven't really seen from the previous, I guess, qualifiers, which is kind of funny to say because these are household names, right? Fujimura and Gachikun in the loser side? Wait a minute. Kichipamu also in the loser side? Uitajun, we haven't seen as much. Kudo and Yosan haven't seen as much as well, right? So it is pretty significant down there in the shark tank that is the losers bracket for top 8 is what I was trying to say, right? Again, these are all household names with the exception of very few, but they're here for a very good reason. And the way that they've been playing and showing out, you can see the potential, right?
Talk to me here, though, about this matchup coming up, Yosan and Kudo. You know, you do have some experience with Juri. Chun-Li's been there since the beginning as well. How do you feel about that matchup?
It's not going to be something that Juri is going to be looking forward to in the neutral game, right? It's going to be one of those opportunities where you're going to probably give up some mistake to get some charges going, or at least get the fireball game going. But at the same time, I think she could counter poke some of Chun-Li's normals pretty well and convert off of it. I do like Juri's standing heavy punch because of the hitbox around it, and being able to cancel it into the flip kick is pretty significant, right? Being able to get something like that into a knockdown and get something started is going to be something that Yosan might be looking forward to. Or it might be something like a jump in to start things off because of the fact that Chun-Li cannot stop her with a standing light kick. And just going in, Yosan now has to cool his jets a little bit. Kudo is trying to establish the pace with some of those heavies we were talking about, but taking to the skies, and Yosan immediately answers with the anti-air, backing off, cooling down yet again. This has been a very wild start to game one.
And again, don't forget Kudo, you know, putting Kawano to the edge right there, but maybe a little bit being too eager with you know, with the way that he was playing. Kawano was able to make a comeback, but let's see if he can do this to Yosan now. All right. Oh, God, that standing heavy punch has been just... Kudo's use of that standing heavy punch is amazing.
Oh, what an interruption, Yosan!
Again, that is some character knowledge right there, matchup knowledge.
Yes, pass the fireball.
Uppercut. Oh, doesn't. Okay.
No, he doesn't need. Oh, I mean,
either way.
The roundhouse kicks while in V trigger, getting those juggles, and then using that meter for the very end. Very nice work from Yosan, showing the potential of Juri.
Ooh, gets the crush counter sweep now. Oh,
that was so meaty.
That's a neat setup right there. Oh, too early on that throw. Hadn't quite landed yet. Ooh, again, that standing heavy punch was been a throw. I love that counter. She threw the fireball. That fireball down there was going to prevent Chun-Li from punishing her charge up.
And it dissipated the fireball itself. Yeah, charges the V skill too after the target combo. Wall and trigger, but
we talked about Juri. This is kind of one of her weaknesses, giving up damage in a lot of situations to have to charge things up.
It hit!
He's willing to do it again. We saw him do this a bunch against Nishiken.
Oh boy.
And there you saw him unleash the V skill too, and he really didn't get much out of that. Nice! Option selecting, make sure that he chased down.
But still getting the confirm. Kudo keeping it nice and consistent with that low medium kick. That is the second time over that he was able to open up Yosan's offense, or at least counter his offense, I should say, and open up his defense.
And we're still in 2 out of 3 right now, so obviously winning this round, taking game number 1, really important. What? She just dashed. Kudo just dashed into that, it looked like. Wasn't expecting the EX flip at all. Oh, God, again, standing heavy punch.
and slowly making his way, forcing Jury into the corner with the normal occupying that space, but still to confirm from Yosan.
Oh, big damage off of this. Yeah, gets the charge.
Oh, the throw bait off of that. That was so slick. And the stun is there. Yosan knows exactly what to do with it. Crouching heavy punch into the EX flip kick.
Those are the active shimmies right there, you know, where you go for a move like that. You see a lot of Nashes go for the tragedy assault and gosh, there's so many examples of that. But instead of walking back and getting to the whiff to throw, you just do a special move that puts yourself airborne and get them to whiff the throw and blow them up that way.
And I like the damage output coming in from Yosan, right? After the crush counter roundhouse, he just did a micro step into the standing medium punch, linked to the medium kick. I like that a lot. I thought he was going to go to like target combo afterwards, but still, he maximized that so well.
Well, he wants to show the potential of Jury, and he's definitely doing a good job here. He started off in the loser side of the bracket, so far we've only seen him win. He's going to try to put another win on the board, but again, Kudo has just been doing so well with that standing heavy punch.
Just occupying that space so well. Exactly what Chun-Li players need to do, right? Just utilizing both their fireball game and the long-range game that they have. Oh boy, a big hit for him. Yosan does catch her crouching, does get the target combo afterwards, and charges the V-Skill 2. Look at the amount of corner carry and the damage continuing off the V-Skill 2. This is so sick.
Just goes right back in there after the combo was done and caught Kudo just stopping the block. Like, perfect timing right there. Kudo was blocking, you know, after getting hit, and as soon as he felt like it was time to hit a button, Yosan had yet another kick sequence come. Oh, again.
Boy. I don't know about this one.
Early in the round.
In a very similar situation, right? Yosan out at match point. Kudo spending the bar early.
Well, it seems to be working out for him, but here we go. Activation, like you said, charges up V-Skill 2, gets the back throw towards the corner. This is important now.
Oh my god. A slight step forward. The uppercut is there. Yosan now has the upper hand. He does get the full conversion off of the low. Does not need to spend anything, but he is in a prime position, especially now, to get a hit into critical art. This is so dangerous.
Oh boy. And yeah, gonna get super plus frame. That's safe on block. Oh, especially now, that's plus. So you can see Yosan play defensive, but catches. Not going to be enough to kill, but the meaty light kick is going to be enough to do it. And Yosan eliminates Kudo. And once again, a very similar situation where Kudo spends the heavy punch into the super early in the round. And like I said, I feel like that's such a... you're hurting yourself because now you don't have a lot of the meter there. There's a reason why a lot of people like to say keep the meter to, you know, as a threat. Right? The meter existing is a threat. Now, you know, obviously Kudo has probably won many, many rounds by doing that very early on, you know. But again, for situations like this, like Yosan right there getting the knockdown at the end, going for the safe meaty, not worrying about, you know, wake-ups. I didn't see how much meter Kudo had at that point, but again, twice now we've seen it. Kudo
twice in a row. I mean, we called it a little bit, right? We were saying this is the exact scenario he put himself in last time, and as soon as his foot is off the gas pedal, it's been pretty much downhill, I guess.
Because I mean, look, the EX lightning kick, for example, right? What a great move to just throw out neutral, catch someone walking forward. Very similar to Urian. Chariot tackle, right? Safe on block, can catch you out of nowhere.
Right, very
EX
similar.
Fireball can get you in on your opponent. You know, throw it out there and dash in as a way to get in. EX bird kick, obviously a great wake up attack. And you know, when you use up the super like that, you lose all those weapons.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to think about all of that as he gets to pretty much chill for the rest of the evening. Or I guess, the rest of the evening as we see the bracket.
He has to take this console and put it in the closet for a while and then, you know.
And then he starts playing on PC.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but either way.
Actually, most of them are playing on PC these days,
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I did see that from the Sakaguchi-Peroshi match, actually. Yosan is going to be the next candidate up into top 8 to face off against Nemo as we get into our next couple of matches. Fujimura versus Gachikun. This one was actually pretty heated in Street Fighter League. Fujimura has been one of the top point earners for his team, and Gachikun kind of doing the same, right, with the Good 8 squad. You can see a G8S alongside Red Bull
What a match to have before top 8 on loser side.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Gachikun and Fujimura, man, 2 of the premier players for Street Fighter V since the beginning of Street Fighter V. And these two, again, Fujimura, one of the best players for many seasons. Gachikun, former Capcom Cup champion, going up against each other, to basically roadblock the other one from getting in the top 8 of Japan 4.
No, yeah, absolutely. We saw the kind of routes that they took on the way over here, but they still found themselves into the loser side. Fujimura by ways of falling short to Yamaguchi's Luke. Right, we saw that earlier on the winner's side. Gachikun had a rough road ahead of him. He was knocked into the losers relatively early and actually stopped Bonchan from making it, as you just mentioned earlier. But here we are now. It's going to be a Chun-Li matchup instead of going into the Cammy matchup.
Interesting choice here. So Fujimura now trying to accomplish perhaps what Kudo failed to do with Chun-Li. Oh. And yeah, look, that heavy punch is obviously one of Chun-Li's main tools, right? So that is definitely going to be a button that you see a lot. Yeah, interesting. Not sure what Fujimura was going for there. But there you see that great example right there. Just fishing with the EX, safe on block. Might as well throw it out. One of the fastest special moves in the game.
And the medium kick confirm exactly what Gachikun needed. Now pushes Fujimura into this corner, but the back throw, that's so hard to really
he tried to walk out of the throw range. I think he was trying to go for the shimmy, just didn't get back far enough. Either that or he switched directions and started walking forward a little too early. I love that choice because what is it? Every Rashid, yeah, that's punishable. But every Rashid always throws that fireball into the V-skill, and again getting thrown on his...
Oh, he can't take this. He can't take all this chip damage.
You're right. Oh, that's why he tried to bust out with the EX and he didn't have that
EX spinning mixer. Yeah, he did not have that V reversal prior to the KO.
So that was actually really smart from Fujimura to kind of bait that out. Knew that he got Gachikun in this checkmate situation.
Oh, there were so many instances to get EX spinning, or excuse me, EX lightning legs for Fujimura for the knockdown of the damage, but he opts out to spend it. There were 2 instances he could have gone. Oh. No counter hit conversion from Fujimura, very unorthodox. This is something we haven't seen from Fujimura. He's been a conversion beast throughout Street Fighter League, but Gachikun taking full advantage of that now.
Wow.
What a walk-up!
That was from downtown, man.
Oh, like 3.5 steps. Surprisingly enough,
off of a jump, it's always kind of a dicey situation to go after a jump. You almost kind of want to just go with the break and just be -2 instead.
Oh boy, no conversion.
Yeah, that could have been a combo after that. That should have been the round already.
It's so tough to watch right now. Fujimura just has a fully stocked trigger.
Yeah, we've seen this from Gachikun in the last matchup, how patient he is. He just, that could have been a fierce in the super right there.
That would have killed. 100% would have killed. And look at that, Fujimura fishing for it too. A little bit of intel for Gachikun. Now he's going to play a little bit closer. I don't think he wants to go for something like a whiff punish. He might want to interrupt it instead.
Wow, a jump. He tried to go for an empty jump low. Yeah, he has so much.
He tried to interrupt it. You saw it from Gachikun. The counter hit is there. Fujimura.
I mean, it's going to run out of time. Doesn't matter. It's not going to kill in time. But, of course, the damage is there already. That means Fujimura is going to take it by time. And you can see right there the win conditions there, TV. And that you are watching some excellent TV here with some Street Fighter V action.
Nice work. I like that one.
Thank you.
It's pretty good. But yeah, no, I mean, we called it earlier. You know, Gachikun was looking for a way to snipe out Chun-Li prior to any of the heavies coming out. You saw the counter hit, and it just wasn't the right time.
Yeah, again, we talked about how good the normals are of Rashid, but again, Chun-Li, I feel like she probably has maybe the best set of normals in the game. It's just that standing heavy punch is so scary to deal with.
Give her an air dash. I'm kidding. They did that with Rashid already.
Yeah, I know. Rashid has one already.
It's wild that he doesn't even need it. You know what I mean?
Remember when they first unveiled it? Everyone's like, how can you give him this? It's so broken. And then his V-Skill 1 is just still better.
It's still good. Oh, boy. Fujimura, man, just sitting Gachikun down, but he'll take all of it.
What the
He really will.
Now he's about to get stunned.
Oh, no. It hits behind.
Yeah,
by
I
the
wonder
way.
if Fujimura was predicting an EX spinning mixer and was trying to avoid it by jumping forward like
from
that.
all the throws?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have. I feel like if Fujimura forced it a little bit more with a couple
Right.
more throws, then possibly.
Right.
Right.
And you saw right there, Fujimura actually did try to combo fireball into it, but now he does get the counter hit into the legs.
That's
yeah.
the first time we've seen that conversion today from both Chun-Li players. Is that
Oh,
weird?
man.
Is that weird to see?
Ooh, and speaking of conversions, look at that. Plenty of time to hit confirm a double hitting crouching heavy punch. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay, now he gets the right distance for that back throw. Not quite enough to kill, though. Fujimura needs to find one more hit. And again, with Chun-Li, it's so heavy punch, heavy kick towards medium punch. The reason why those are all so scary, why that's such a good set, is they all hit different distances. So if you're trying to think about standing heavy punch, you get hit by heavy kick. And then the standing medium punch is a threat, and then the heavy. So you're trying to stand in a range where you can whiff punish the heavy punch, but then you can't whiff punish the medium. Dude, it's tricky fighting this character on the ground.
That's been the bane of a lot of players' existence when it comes to mid to high level Chun-Li player, right?
All right, here we go. Gachaku now. Try to go for the throw a little bit too far away. Oh, activation time.
Could be so dangerous, but Fujimura just holding on. I like that. A little bit of a forward heavy kick action to occupy that space. That was really cool.
I made it under, and is going to be able to confirm into the V-shift, into the super. Is this going to kill?
There was a lot of scaling involved. I'm going to say, no way. That's crazy. There was a lot of scaling on that. I thought it wasn't, James. It was the last hit. I mean, that's where it does pretty much those damage.
I was going to say no, too, but I let you do it first. So, you know, I knew it was going to kill all along, Jeremy.
I like coin flips, you know. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I mean, some of the people in the chat were like, yeah, you got me. Like, whatever. Either way. No, but I mean, it was a great time for Fujimura to get up under there, too. I mean, just him finding out how to optimize those situations after taking a pretty rough L those last couple of instances, those last couple of rounds. It's good to see Fujimura finally getting those conversions that he was really looking for earlier. Not even just in this set, but in the set prior, he didn't get all the conversions he was looking for. But now he's starting to come into his own skin. He's trying to make sure that he gets himself into those positions to fully optimize those situations. And it's kind of hard considering he's been playing Cammy for the last couple of months.
Oh, on League, right?
Yes, on League, So it's been pretty rough.
I mean, unfortunately for Gachikun, though, again, former Capcom Cup champion, not going to be able to make it in the top 16, which means he's not going to be one of the 4 Japanese players to make it to qualify for, you know, Capcom Cup. Obviously, you know, it's just mostly going to be exhibitions. We'll find out more about that in the future, but it's, you know, that's tough. You got to imagine that's tough for a guy like Gachikun, right? You know, trying to get back into that mix, but not going to happen here. This year, unfortunately, Fujimura is in there, and we have one more person. Is it going to be Uita Jun, another Chun-Li player, or is it going to be Kichipa, the Zangief? Missing a lot of Chun-Li here. Chun-Li and Luke.
Are we? I think that's the only repeats we have, actually, when you think about it. I mean, to be fair, Fujimura started things off with the Cammy initially, but Uita Jun coming in with that Chun-Li and then Kudo as well. Yeah, I think you might be right. The only consistent repeats that we have... technically, Mizuha still has a chance to use Colleen. So that could be a thing with Kawano.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, Luke and Chun-Li are the most common characters in the roster right now, or at least in the top 16.
Okay. But as I said, this is going to be the last match of the day. Uita Jun versus Kichipa. Going to be Chun-Li versus that Zangief.
Oh,
and,
yes.
You know, again, Chun-Li can terrorize Zangief with those normals. Heavy kick, heavy punch are some real problems there. Now, obviously, Zangief is going to try to armor through those with either, you know, the V-Skill 1 or the heavy punch or something like that.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because those heavy normals do have a lot of recovery. So if he's able to predict that correctly, he could possibly get like a flex into like a punish,
right,
etc. Right, and then you also talk about the fireball game. If Chun-Li opts to go for something like that and doesn't want to risk throwing out those normals, well, guess what? Zangief has a great tool past that. It's called the Lariat.
Right, so. And then if he gets the V trigger all ready to go, you're scared to throw fireballs at all.
Either way, yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how this match goes. Again, Kichipa's probably fought plenty of Chun-Li's. He's going to come in here very, very prepared for this. And Uita Jun, I mean, look, Japan has always thought very highly of Zangief. So, you know, he's going to have plenty of experience versus Zangief as well. So we'll see.
That's true. Yeah, there's really funky opinions when it comes to Zangief. I feel like it's inconsistent opinions when it comes to Zangief.
Yeah, again, it's Itazan's fault. It's Itazan and probably Kichipa's fault as well. These two players, just by themselves, probably have skewed a lot of opinions about Zangief in Japan. But that's what happens, right? I mean, like in the U.S., Japan, remember, they rated Laura really low, and we're like, what are you talking about? Because we had iDom over here, right?
Yeah.
So
it's different. Different strokes for different folks.
yeah, but again, these normals. Oh, well, I talked about the armor, and look at this, Kichipa getting greedy, tried to go for the reset.
But he's gonna get it anyway. Gets the full extent.
All right.
Force Dynamite.
Here comes the Vortex for Zangief. What's his choice? The wake up from Itajun, showing Kichipa that he's not scared to go for that risk.
No!
Oh!
Yeah, because he can't lariat through that.
Uh-oh. Can he kill off of this? Yes! And, yeah, last hit on that as well. Didn't even go for the EX legs for guarantee.
Well, I mean, he has Trigger still on deck, too, so he can't follow
that's right.
way.
Of course, you're right.
Yeah, but Kichipan was still making the right calls past that Trigger, too. That was so slick. But Itajun managing to keep the round. Very impressive. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
I
love seeing that interaction. You cannot anti-air him traditionally because he can tuck his legs in.
Right, and the back heavy kick hits so far straight up. That's one of the weaknesses of losing that standing light kick as a reliable anti-air.
Man, it's so funny to see that interaction. When the light knee drop happens and players with the anti-air is like, oh boy, you just got red. It's so sick.
Baited.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep, there you see the flex right there, trying to get through some of this poking from Chun-Li. Aha! That's another option that you have as well. Jump right when they hit the button and make it over, and then force them into a mix-up situation.
Yeah, and it's so funky too with Zangief because his jumping medium kick extends so far down that it pretty much reduces his jump height by half.
I call that one of the alpha jump attacks because a lot of characters in Street Fighter Alpha had that kind of jump attack that hit way down
so
there.
Nuts, yeah.
Whew. All right. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Yeah, the heavy kick. So if you're ready for the jump and you throw out that heavy kick, yeah, that is not good for Zangief at all.
And you see how reluctant from that specific angle, Itajun didn't want to do anything like back roundhouse because he might have gotten got again. Activation, you already know.
Yeah, and he wants to get the life lead because he's down. He wants to get the life lead, so he's trying to chip away with this Kikojo.
He can critical art, but he still gets it.
Did he get it?
My
what?
God. Itajun actually could have gotten the game.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The super activation might have ate the rest of the timer. I don't know.
No, in his favor. He would have been chipping away at him. He would have been stuck.
Perhaps, but I wonder yeah, you're probably right if he had done it right away.
He landed so many fierces. Oh, and speaking of fierces landing, muscle power for you. He just created a new platform into the subway. That was such an interesting exchange too, man. That's so unfortunate. I'm still stuck in last round, but Itajun.
I know, that's all I'm thinking about too. I want to see what the life and the time was like.
Oh boy, Itajun still needs to make this comeback happen, but he has such a deficit that even if he activates into a trigger combo afterwards, I think Kichipomu would still be in the life lead. Yeah,
well,
even after this sequence,
okay.
He's still going to be in the lead. Yeah,
that's why he's not going to go crazy with the combo because he wants to save that meter for a better combo. There we go.
And Kichipomu's not going to be one to sit down and take all those throws either. The way that he loves to press buttons, man. It's not going to happen.
Neutralizing that fireball. So he's still sitting there on a lot of that. Oh, see, there's that heavy kick. Back heavy kick. He's going to reach the side.
No
That
way.
was supposed to be a V reversal. I think that was supposed to be a V reversal. I think he was expecting to block something. He wanted a V reversal to buy some time.
Nah, that was intentional. That was slick. Did you see that? That was a whiff. No, that was the best counter poke he could have called for.
Perhaps. I mean, look. You know what? Kichipa is pretty galaxy brained.
He really is.
There's
He's very
a potential
creative.
that he decided to do that for sure. You see someone shimmy, they walk back, walk forward, so he meets them with the knees. You know, maybe
he'll do that and then get into an EXSPD.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, who knows?
Oh, no!
Too far away.
Too far away. He might have went for a medium SPD and was greedy or something. What was she trying?
That was a roundhouse or a light kick? I
I'm
couldn't even tell.
sure.
I
He
didn't
might
know
have tried
if
a back heavy kick, but went the wrong direction because he jumped over her or something like that. Okay, here we go. All right, goes for the reset into the throw. I like that decision. And now trying to get this pressure going here, but you see Kichipa's like, I'm just going to walk off this timer. I'm just going to sit back here. Oh, no, he tried to do something. And that's going to cause him to die. He was doing such a good job just playing patiently, but, you know, he was probably trying to do that thing where he's like, look, I'm playing defensively, and then come with an attack all of a sudden out of nowhere.
I'm just like Gachikun. Oh, boy. Tuck him in. Night. EXSPD. Dash up now. Here comes the meaty.
Okay, regular throw, but you can't get anything off of that. If you're Uita Jun, you'll take that regular throw.
That's the down forward throw as they're crouching. That's the down
That's
forward.
just, it's just if you throw them while they're crouching,
Sorry,
it just
throwing them while they're
triggers.
crouching,
Yeah, and you'll take that because he doesn't get anything off of that. Oh. And now Uita Jun with the life lead here.
Oh. Slight whiff punish, but a significant one at that. Uita Jun just staving off Kichipamu, just barely, really. He does have the life lead.
Zangief's steaming mad right now.
He's angry.
Like the smoke coming off of them when the triggers are activated.
Oh,
he
boy.
got her walking forward. But of course, that was
we talked about. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I was so ready. I was so ready, James. I was like, we literally just talked about that before the round ended, but Uita Jun.
And that was
the most of it.
and I'm glad Uita Jun had the punish all ready to go instead of jumping back and going, dash up, and you know, he was just like, nope, raw super done. Next game, let's
get
go.
it over with. Yeah. Very smart decision. Very lucky decision making too. I mean, that probably could have killed. I didn't see how much life Uita Jun had left, but I feel like that critical art would have been enough.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't, it just puts you in that terrified position, and especially whenever you have a tiny life left, it's so hard fighting Zangief because that crouching light punch is a terror.
It's so annoying. Even if you try to counter poke it or even attempt to quote unquote whiff on it.
Remember we talked about flexing early enough to get the punish in time.
Doing it again.
Yeah, do it again.
So yeah, like on paper, you would think, you know, Chun-Li's got the long limbs of the law is what it is. But no, Kichipamu does have the subtle nuances down to counter it correctly.
So a lot of her far range pokes are not cancelable. Otherwise, she could just do that into like heavy lightning kick to blow up the armor. But you know, heavy punch, heavy kick, none of these things are cancelable into specials. All right. Oh. Again, just focusing on this neutral right now. Fishing for that.
That's so tough.
Yeah. And here we go. +2 mix-up. What is it? Goes for the low.
Oh, the anti-air is there. The V-shift punish.
Nice. Chases down the V-shift.
Extends the combo. The V-reversal. Get off me. Kichipamu is still stuck in this corner. We talked about this scenario exactly. I think Kichipamu is going to try to jab away at the health of Uita Jun, but he has to pick his spots perfectly, because if not, he will get punished with the follow-up.
Oh, nice.
And that's it.
What a bait. Dash up, shimmy, that towards medium punch hits so far away.
Yeah, and being able to cancel into V-Trigger 2 as well. It's going to be so good for Uita Jun. Looking at match point. Full critical art on deck. Kichipamu just barely looking at the same thing. Now he just gets smacked into critical art territory.
Scary times now.
I love that from Uita Jun holding on to the meter.
Exactly. Because like I said, having that threat is so important.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Those buttons, like I said, the various ranges that she has makes it hard to whip punish them. And yeah, now look at the, okay, good lariat as well. He gets the mix-up. But what a throw tech by Uita Jun to get out of there.
Looking for the whiff punish game. Kichipamu is trying to find his way towards counter-poking Uita Jun, or at least whiff punishing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
No.
He ended it early.
Okay, that's plus.
Got him. He got the counter and he gets... Oh, he doesn't get the follow-up because it wasn't enough.
And that was out of the air. Otherwise, that might have been confirmed.
Oh, my God. He's going to get him. The critical hit stops. You're dead. Oh, no. Kichipamu counters that sequence again.
Woo! Kichipamu with the awareness, the reactions.
That was
nicely
sick.
done.
Oh, I was so sick.
Oh,
the strongest monkey.
Ooh, good lariat. Gets the mix up.
sit
Oh,
him
where are you
down.
going?
Oh, no.
Oh, trade.
That's going to be good for Uther June.
Yeah,
Kuchipamu
good.
now backs off a little bit.
Yeah, you'll take that trade as a Aretha June all day.
And I love it. Kuchipamu slowly trying to pick apart the normals that Uita Jun wants to use. But this is a great side switch.
Ooh, he tried to go. It sounded like an EX SPD, but got hit out of the startup of it. Nice EX bird kick and reaction. And again, one of the reasons why you save your meter, you have these tools on your side.
Ooh. Slowly but surely.
There's that mix again.
Oh, he's
and
gonna do
now
it again.
guess for life.
Yup, and that is all she wrote. Kuchipamu is moving on into the top 8 to face off against Fujimura in his patented style of mix-ups game. He tucked in his knees and said, night, night. He put you in the dirt with the EXSPD. Kuchipamu, you dirty, dirty dog.
Yeah, again, Kichipa and Itazan probably not double-handedly, the ones putting Zangief on the map and keeping all of Japan rating that character so strong and just terrified of that character. And there you go. We have our top 8 for tomorrow. Again, obviously some names that are missing from here. Bonchan, Itazan, as I've mentioned.
Fudo as well.
Fudo, who didn't enter, though, but remember is feeding kimchi to Shuto, right?
That's true. Kimchi Nabe, yeah.
Yeah. And
oh, this is the situation right here, right? He could have gone
earlier.
Oh, man. He didn't want to spend the bar, but it would have gotten him the round.
See,
I'm
just worried that the timer would have ran out while he was charging up animation. Maybe the kicks hadn't come out in time, but we'll never know unless someone tries to recreate that situation.
Oh,
that was the ridiculous.
Oh
God.
man, I love production for slowing it down at that
Is
very
that
moment.
a cancel? Is it just like he just recovers? It's so fast.
And it's so good. The awareness and the game sense from Kuchipamu, understanding that scenario in the first place. We saw glimpses of it when he interrupted it the first time. But man, with max potential, critical art on deck, best believe he's going to utilize that same strategy. Kuchipamu accelerating himself into top 8 yet again after his falter against Tokido in the winner's side from the first game. Again, he wasn't in bad shape, right? He fell to Tokido 2-1 initially in the winner's side and had to wait for the rest of the competition to play out.
That's right.
That's always the toughest spot to be in, being the first to play and then the last to play.
Yeah, and I always feel bad for the person who has to go in that spot right there. But, as soon as he saw Uita Jun win, he was probably like, all right, for 3 matches, I can practice, I can practice against Chun-Li, make sure I have all my notes ready to go. But there you have it. We have our top 8 now. Let's take you just saw the loser side of the bracket. Let's take a look at the full top 8 bracket that we have over here. Tokido going up against the young player from Shinobism, Yamaguchi here, even younger than Higuchi, really being, I guess he's considered like the newest star student of Momochi.
Possibly.
Here. And Momochi, speaking of, also
not a part of the top 16.
Not of this tournament. But Tokido and Yamaguchi, Momochi will be represented by Yamaguchi. Kawano versus Mizuha. And then on the loser side, you see it's going to be Kichipa and Fujimura that we talked about. And then Yosan and Nemo going up against each other. And what a nice little character variety here. We've got Yuri and Luke, Colleen, potentially another Colleen or a Luke.
True.
But then from there, Zangief, Cammy or Chun-Li, Juri, and Urien. Another
Or Gil.
Urien. Or Gil.
Or Gil.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting to see. Again, a really wide diversity of characters, especially with the players piloting them, right? Both young, old, and pretty much new to the top 16, right? Not new to the scene necessarily, but into a Capcom Pro Tour situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves the top 8. And I gotta be pretty honest with you, man. There was a lot of upsets that have happened. I feel like on the way over to the bracket and to the top 16 in terms of like some of the characters and players that we're familiar with, but in the grand scheme of things, it's still some of the best Street Fighter I get to witness.
Absolutely. If you want to be part of the best Street Fighter as well, start getting into the game. Check out compete.playstation.com. Head over to that URL to learn more about the PlayStation tournaments and find some Street Fighter action of your own so that you can join in the tournament scene, start playing. I've seen a lot of people discover the joy of fighting game tournaments from these PlayStation tournaments. So get in there, test your mettle against others in some Street Fighter V.
And you can do the same if you're a Street Fighter fan as well. You can enjoy some of the other games that they have going on, especially with the ones coming up very soon with the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel, now available for download in Taiwan, Hong Kong, as well as Macau. Other regions are also coming soon. Best believe you got to keep a lookout for more news on the global release and get ready to join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter in the world. Street Fighter Duel, again, coming very, very soon to mobile. The global version you got to keep a lookout for because this game is going to be one of the best games for Street Fighter, I feel like, in the mobile universe. Again, this is going to be a game that's going to be sucking my soul, I feel like, because James and I are suckers for mobile games. We promise you that.
You were the one who got me hooked on.
Here's this. Teppin's
stuck
fun.
on Teppin now,
Teppin's
thanks
no
to
fun.
you.
But either way, Street Fighter Duel is going to be coming out real soon. But what's coming up real soon also is going to be our analysis of our top 16. That leads us to our top 8. So after this break, we're going to be coming back to you guys with a little tidbit of that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the CPT.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Who are you?
Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
Welcome back, everybody. We have just completed the top 16 of the final CPT event of the 2021 season. That is, of course, Japan number 4. We have our top 8. And again, that top 16, look, we had some players that we didn't recognize. As you mentioned before we went on the break, a lot of players falling by the wayside, like Bonchan and Itazan, et cetera, et cetera. Yet, when we look at this top 8 here, still, you know, a lot of names that you would expect to see in a top 8.
Yeah, I think majority of those players are pretty much shown off in this top 8, right? Tokido being one of them, Kawano and Mizuha, Kichipamo, Fujimura, and Nemo, to say, you know, some of the household names. But let's take a closer look at who else is in there, right? Yamaguchi, one of the newer students, or at least one of the youngins in the realm of Street Fighter V, making his way against a heavy hitter with, you know, part of Shinobiism. Took down one of the teachers from Shinobiism, taking down Fujimura, if you guys took a look at that. Then we saw Yosan coming in. Now, this is a tricky one, right? It's not necessarily that he's one of the youngins. He's not one of like the newer generation, right? He's the one that's been pretty active with Jury for a while and has finally found himself in a top 16 scenario.
Yeah, I mean, Jury is just not one of those characters that you see particularly often. So while Yosan might be a surprise because of the character, definitely not a surprise because of the player. But Yamaguchi is definitely the standout here. This is the one that we're going to be watching carefully in the top 8 because, again, Tokido. We can talk about Tokido, how great he is forever. You know, Kawano, second place last time. Kichipad, Zangief, Fujimura, one of the smartest players. Nemo, we've seen such immense success from him. Yamaguchi, you know, is the one that is kind of standing out here as the dark horse, the unknown factor, but again, has to go up against Tokido, one of the most celebrated fighting game players of all time. I mean, many people consider perhaps the greatest overall fighting game player that has ever existed on planet Earth.
Word.
And so
I can get behind that. I can get behind that idea 100%, right? There's been so many instances where Tokido has risen above and beyond greatness when it comes to his accolades in Street Fighter as an IP, right? Not even just in Street Fighter V, but just overall his performance in Street Fighter, right? You talk about even his performance in Third Strike with Urien, right? He's come full circle going back to Urien.
I would always tell the story. There was one Evo I remember seeing Tokido wander around, and he had like 5 medals hanging around his neck, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, I was like, "What the heck?" You know,
must be nice.
Yeah,
must
exactly.
Be nice. But as you guys saw the top 8 and what we could expect for tomorrow, some of the things we like to do here before we wrap things up is kind of talk about some of our predictions as well as some of our favorite matches from the top 16. Personally, when I was looking at it, I think Yamaguchi versus Fujimura was one of my favorites because it's the first time I've really seen Fujimura kind of get flustered a little bit in terms of like how the matchup went down. There's not a lot that really kind of puts Fujimura on edge, especially in the way that he plays. Like, he's got it calm, cool, and collected, right? He's pretty much Mr. Optimal when it comes to his gameplay as Cammy. But Yamaguchi, our first time seeing him in the top 16,
looked really
quickly dismantling Fujimura with a new character. Now, it has a lot to bring up. Is it something like, is Fujimura unfamiliar with the character, or is Luke one of those characters that just deals so much damage in the opportunities that he gets?
Or
like,
is Yamaguchi that good?
Yeah, and is Yamaguchi that much of a beast? Right, there's so many different factors, and the fact of the matter is, Yamaguchi took down one of the seasoned veterans of the fighting game community. So that, in general, I think that was one of the matches I do want to watch again and just see how it broke down. To be honest with you, that was one of my favorite matches in the winner side of top 16.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of predictions, like, I can't imagine most people wouldn't have Tokido and Kawano going up against each other in winners finals.
Oh boy!
But man, Mizuha and Yamaguchi, both with those Lukes, can definitely throw in a monkey wrench into that plan.
And that's the problem, right? I think with, you know, Kawano versus Mizuha coming up tomorrow, it's going to be a question of whether or not Mizuha actually sticks with that Luke, because I've seen this matchup before between the two, the Colleen Mirror match. Mizuha doesn't do too poorly against Kawano.
Okay.
But again, Kawano slightly gets the upper hand, I feel like, in the matches that they've played before in League. But for the most part, I'm curious to see that Luke come out and whether or not we'll get the Tokido versus Kawano run back. There's just so many different stories that could play out in the top 8. But let's take a look at the loser side as well, right? You have Fujimura, or excuse me, you have, who is it? Yosan versus Kichipamu, and then
Yosan and Nemo.
Yosan and Nemo, and then Fujimura versus Kichipamu. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a very interesting one, right? Like, I mean, Yosan versus Nemo, how do you feel about that personally?
Again, my experiences with Jury are very minimal. You just don't see a lot of that character. Now, the question is, it doesn't matter what my experience with Jury is. It's how much experience does Nemo have against Jury. And if Nemo right now wants to train against Jury, who's he going to call on here? Are there a lot of other juries that they can call on in Japan to try to get some help?
True, yeah.
Because that's one of the key things that a lot of these top players do. They hit up the other players and get the training from them. And so, do they have that kind of access to the players who can help them out?
Yeah, I'm just really curious because there's certain shades of Nemo that we see. He's been really aggressive against players that are pretty much like not really familiar with his style. Like he'll just go into straight offense. But when it comes to somebody he's played before in the past, he plays it way more calculated, in my opinion. Not to take away from his current gameplay and how he played off against Peroshi, but you got to take a look at that video again, or you have to take a look at that footage again.
Right.
Nemo completely dismantled Peroshi on offense. Right. He just went straight forward. Or in comparison to how he played against Mizuha, he was playing it way more subtle. He was trying to figure his way out against Colleen. Maybe it was a Colleen matchup kind of thing, but there's been certain instances where Nemo has played against players he's familiar with in the past, and he slows it down significantly. I don't know if Nemo has had enough time against Yosan, the individual, more so than Jury, if he's going to actually change up his strategy. I want to see what transpires there. Mark my words for this. I want to see if Nemo is going to go full-blown offense out the gate for that top 8.
Yeah, and then for the other loser side, I'm just really curious to see what Fujimura is going to do. He just saw Kichipa take out Uita Jun's Chun-Li. So does that mean Fujimura is going to go with Cammy? Or does that mean he's going to try to stick with Chun-Li and show what Uita Jun did wrong? That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I do want to see the records between them two over in Street Fighter League as well. But for the most part, I know that he's opted to use Cammy for that matchup. I feel like, he doesn't want to use Chun-Li too much against grapplers. Of course, you've seen what happens with Chun-Li and Zangief being able to space him out.
Cammy has a DP, man. That helps. That's going to be one of Zangief's way in, is to sneak in those jumps, and having a DP is definitely a nice thing.
And you have something like a medium kick that could reach just as far in neutral to kind of be that nuisance and not have as much recovery.
But Zangief has Tundra Storm.
Ooh. That's also fair. If every time he hits that, I'm going to go nuts. So
yeah,
it's interesting all the way around. You couldn't ask for a better CPT, right? What a way to end it with Japan, right? One of the best in Street Fighter V. Rob TV has called it numerous times, the best region in the world. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much a wild thing to see. You guys definitely don't want to miss it. It's going to be happening again, same time tomorrow. For those of you in the North American scene, it's going to be pretty late, but for everywhere else around the world, best believe it's going to be in the same time tomorrow.
That's right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for some top 8 action. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight as well. But until tomorrow, we will bid you adieu and see you guys soon. Peace.
What an interruption! He got the